Mic check. Happy Sunday. Happy Father's Day. Round. What's going on? Excuse me while I wake up. Little tired. But we here. What's going on, people? Let's talk to the round right quick. Let's see what's going on. I see my man back with that up in there early. What's going on? Baron, what's going on, bro? Talk to me. Level 1 in the building. Salute. Happy Father's Day to the Patriarchs. All that movies. Manix 96. What's going on? Talk to you. Arcade. Don't know if it's the same demo for Pat. Oh, WrestleQuest demos on Steam. Okay. Arcade. Thank you. Now I'm Omar. What's going on? Hollywood Rules. What's up? Delilah HD. What's going on? What's up, sis? Fuzzy. I'm over. I gotta stop slandering Forza. It looked really good. So Fuzzy, you got that. I bet you got that. I knew it was gonna look good, but it looked wow, really good. Bunty, what's going on? You done know what going ILP, what going Bone Slave, Cali in the building. What up, Bone? I feel like I ain't talked to you in a minute. What's going on? Awful Grim Bones, what's up? Let's talk to me. JD, what's up? Y'all giving me life. Brett Bingham, what's going on? Y'all giving me life. A little tired today. A lot of lords might be out. We got to see what's going on. There's a lot going on last minute, so I'm going to be fully transparent with the realm. So King is on vacay, but he will, with the Father's Day thing, but he will be checking in. Jez is not feeling well. So, we gave Jez the time off, you know what I mean? So Jez might come through next week, just to be honest with y'all. Rand should be good, Sob should be good. Attic is not... I don't know where Attic is. Nah, I knew where he is. He talked to me. He wasn't feeling well last night, so it's gonna be an interesting show. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta be fully transparent. Yes, Lord Solve will be here. I saw him up, so that should be good. You know what I'm saying? And then Rand I spoke to, so we should be good on that. But I always gotta be transparent with y'all with offering things into the product. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all. So we still gonna have some fun, man. A lot of stuff to talk about. Crazy things. But yeah, King did say he's checking in remotely. So it's not like we're going to lose King. I just don't know what time he's coming in. As long as he don't wear them damn Crocs, I'm good. Keep them Crocs out of here. He wilding right now. He out of pocket. That's egregious. It's a violation of fashion standards. I got to talk to my man. Good shout out to y'all for signing the change.org petition to get King Croc right. Because he loose out here. This is crazy. You know how you just see your brothers go down this dark path. He going down a dark path right now. It's up to us as a community to get the Swaggy King back. We like Swaggy King. You know what I'm saying? But this, what's going on? This grandfather at the barbecue, this uncle. I can't. With the rainbow Crocs. No, shout out to the rainbow. But I'm just saying, come on, King. We got to do better. So I know he's going to come in here with them Crocs because he on vacation. I think he on the beach somewhere. So I'm bracing myself. Anyway, enough King slander. Shout out to my bro. Hey, live your life, bro. I ain't mad at you. You know what I'm saying? I just got to mess with you. Look, we'll be back. I'll see if I can get the rest of the lords up in here. We're going to have a good show. We're going to have some fun. I miss talking to y'all. I feel like I haven't talked to y'all in a minute. And I will be back.
Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So, look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't wanna be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they wanna compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I wanna do?
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep that going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold ya, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for ya. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't wanna be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they wanna compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I wanna do?
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep
super
that going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold ya, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for ya. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't wanna be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they wanna compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I wanna do?
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep
super
that going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold ya, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for ya. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got... Nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I wanna do
Don't
here.
stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep
super
that, keep that going, keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gonna hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. Well, it's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got... Nah, let's switch that up.
What is you
What I
doing?
wanna do
Don't
here.
stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep
super
that going, keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gonna hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. Well, it's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got... Nah, let's switch that up.
What is you
What I
doing?
wanna do
Don't
here.
stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm
Keep
just
that
super
going, keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gonna hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. Well, it's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't wanna be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they wanna compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I wanna do,
Don't
man.
stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm
Keep
just
that
super
going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't wanna be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they wanna compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I wanna do,
Don't
man.
stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm
Keep
just
that
super
going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't wanna be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they wanna compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I wanna do,
Don't
man.
stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep
super
that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold you, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for you. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again.
And we are live. Iron Lord Podcast. LordCognito here talking about the latest with Advanced GG. There's a lot of things going on with the new product line. Let's get right to it. So we got that focus line, y'all. This is that standard. This is what we use right now. Kind of our caffeine substitute. And what we usually do right now when we're gaming, we don't use coffee anymore. We're utilizing this focus. On deck number 2, you already know it's my favorite right here, the energy line. You already know, birthday cake, one of my absolute favorites. Completely delicious. This is a pre-workout equivalent. And also doesn't use beta alanine, so you don't get the jitters and stuff like that. So it's really good for that. And then the new, we got that hydration hydration line, y'all. This is really good for people who don't like caffeine, who want an electrolyte substitute, and it is really sugar-free, absolutely delicious. So you got your 3 choices. Once again, you know Cog Lover is sour. You already know, and we're doing this right now. So go get yourself to advancedgg.com. Use code IronLord on the checkout. This is something I use all the time. We got to support AdvancedGG. Great products if you want to get your workout on. Even if you don't work out, you're just gaming, you need that focus. And again, the hydration line for those who don't want caffeine, no sugar, electrolytes, you're good to go. LordCognito here, Iron Lord Podcast. Peace.
I'ma just chill and watch them and eat snacks in the attic. I wanted to chill with the pack and be like a young wolf, but then they would mistake me for addict. If I can imagine it's cool to give you some advice, then invite your girl to your squadron. Cause if you don't give her that option, you gon' be single player like Sovereign. You gon' get tossed in the bushes by King David. Royalty and not a pretender. Detrimental to an elemental, what's an avatar to a knee bender? I gotta be me though. I know it's my destiny, word to Cognito. Who cares if you fly, if you still a mosquito? You swear you ain't stuntin', but really be Steve-O. You like to collect stuff and that's cool, but I got bad news. Even if you really was that dude, King David still be the king of the statues. Since a juvenile, I've been cursed with a curse to be musical. And if you hate it, we'll meet in the crucible. Other than that, then it's cool and it's beautiful. We let you know that your dreams are pursuable. Whatever you want to do, then it's doable. If you got work on a Sunday, it's suitable. Cause you can listen to this in your cubicle on the Lord's Day. Woo. If you got work on a Sunday, it's suitable. Cause you can listen to this in your cubicle on the Lord's Day.
All right. Mic check. Talk to the people, Saw. Talk to the people.
What up? What's going on?
I see Levels. Levels is good. Rams, make sure you're good too.
Yeah, we're good. We're always good.
We always good. We got a little situation in the back. There we go. There's our bottom bar. There we go. All right.
There we go.
A little more professional. Tom is watching, y'all. Put your best on. Hear ye, and we are live. Happy Father's Day to all the patriarchs out there. Salute to in the realm. We really respect, and your service is greatly appreciated. So salute to y'all, and welcome to the Iron Lords Podcast LLC, and also live on lordsofgaming.net. Episode number 261. And it's another glorious Sunday. We're back at the round table on the Lord's Day. I'm very excited about our special guest. And we have the Xbox Showcase Aftermath and Extended Showcase Recap. Final Fantasy VII skips Xbox. And PlayStation Now game losses to discuss. So we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord who is not only a solid friend to the realm of the ILP, but in my opinion, represents the gold standard on objectivity, thought-provoking discussion, and clear and concise delivery in video form. Introducing the creator and host of the Randall Thor 19 YouTube channel and the co-host of the Xbox 2 podcast, the Lord of Gamerscore and the Wheel of Time, rarely quoted for breaking news on his own podcast. It is the leader of the deepfake Xbox predictions movement. Live from the south side of the Shah, where we always reminisce about a healthy D-Rose and those epic Stacy King call-outs. My man, Lord Randall Thor 19. How we doing, sir?
Cog, I did not know I was going to get the intro today.
Nah, you
I wasn't expecting it, and you
the streets are talking.
I mean, you even included the Wheel of Time, so that's A+ intro. So it's good to be here.
Intro. So yeah, we don't get that, Rand.
Oh,
I know,
here we go.
You guys don't get it, but this is going to be our time to shine. We got Xbox 3 going on right here.
That's right. We got the Xbox 3.
No King David and no Lord Attic holding us back. So
No shilling today.
No. No. King will be joining. You know what I'm saying? Attic, Bushes for Addict. We got to give him a Bushes emoji right now. I don't know what's going on. I gave him his call that he requested. So Addict's in the bushes. What's going on, man? What's up with you, man? What you been playing?
I'm almost finished with the Quarry on the Series X. I'm a big fan of the Supermassive games. This one is very interesting. I think it's better than their Dark Pictures games.
Really?
But maybe it's not as good as Until Dawn. Like, I still think Until Dawn is probably their best game. But this one does kind of approach it in some areas. Like, you ever play one of these games and it's like this like horror game and stuff? Some of the characters just act all stupid and you're just kind of like, come on, really?
Yeah.
You're just like, this person would not act like this in this real scenario and stuff. But
Barry, where's Barry?
Yeah. So no, I've been enjoying the Quarry a lot, and I've also been playing a little bit of that retro goodness.
Oh yes,
TMNT Shredder's Revenge. You know, me and Cole Eastwood, we played some co-op. You can play up to 6 people. It was just me and him. I do want to try it out with 6 people because even with just 2, that game's so good. It's so crazy. Man, it is a throwback to those Turtles arcade games, but it's still very modern.
Yes, and
it is an absolute. You guys have to play it.
Yeah,
you have to play it.
Yeah, the plan is we're playing with Saturday for all the Lords. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, King he's traveling. He's at the beach somewhere with those Crocs.
Those Crocs.
Those Crocs. But shout out.
He's just doing it to troll you now.
Oh,
right?
I know it's troll. Like he's got a movement now. Like now it's like hashtag King Croc. But anyways, so the plan was to do it all 4 of us because I want to play it so bad, bro. I was looking at Xbox 2. I'm looking at your footage. I'm like, damn, that looks so fun. And Dotemu always kills it. We had the opportunity to always interview them. They've got the retro feel down. They killed it with Streets of Rage. We knew they were going to kill it with TMNT when we went to cover it. So when I saw the footage, who had Michelangelo? Who had Leonardo?
That was me. Mikey's always been my favorite turtle, so always got to pick him. Why is he not yours? Is Michelangelo not yours?
You know what's funny? I don't remember, but I think I was a Donatello guy. I think I was a Don guy, but
you just like Donatello because he's got the reach.
Yeah,
he's got the
cheese,
right?
the cheese moves.
But the long range, you know what I'm saying? Like the Raph and Michelangelo, y'all too dangerous. Y'all got to get in the mix. Now, I'm a salute to them. But Mike's always been the fun one on the show. You know what I'm saying? So salute, you already know. And of course, we're down one member of the Xbox too, but salute to Jess Corden, man. You know what I'm saying? Let the man rest up. He is doing a lot. We will reconvene with Jez, my brother. Salute. Always love, man. The guy's doing a ton of things, but we'll get him back. And we got the 4. We ain't got 4 horsemen.
You got the 2 horsemen.
We got the 3. We ain't got 3 horsemen again. We got 2 horsemen of gaming in the building. You know what I'm saying? The new Xbox 3 right now. You know what I'm saying? But of course, we have the most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience, and also the Sostradamus, the Lord of Clarity and Lord Patron of the Iron Bank, my man, Lord Sovereign. How we doing, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling. Happy Father's Day to all.
Yes.
You know, I was not going, I said I wasn't going to be here for Father's Day, but since I have a spotty attendance record lately, I just have to make sure that I'm here today.
Shout out to your attendance.
But so hopefully I'm kind of back, fully moved in, just trying to get out from under these boxes now. Yeah. So, but yeah, everything's good. In terms of, shout out to the team over at Interior Night. We got Cog and I got to interview them a little bit. Was it earlier this week or last week?
This week. About
As Dusk Falls. Yeah, that's how time flies. I don't remember what week it was. Fantastic narrative-based game. It looks like it's going to be a super fun experience, especially with in the multiplayer mode. So check out that interview if you haven't seen it yet. Fantastic little game. I'm excited for that game to come out.
Up on our Lord podcast right now. Exclusive
Yes,
interview
sir.
playlist. Go check that out.
And then apart from that, I still haven't connected my consoles yet, so not even little man. So I did, but so what I had to do, what I always do, I had to go spend that money on that Switch, man. I could not.
Red's favorite. He loves when we talk about the Switch. Right, Red?
So
Oh
I had
yeah,
to go.
the Switch. What a console. What a console.
Number one MPD coming in hot, baby.
Yeah,
every
that's right,
week.
Rand. Stop hating Rand.
My Switch isn't even hooked up anymore.
Oh damn!
And it doesn't even need to be because Xbox got that Silk Song, baby.
Ooh,
Whoa,
is
that was
true.
big. That was when I saw that, I was like, oh.
Bro, you know what's so crazy about the Silk Song? It was impressive because I remember covering that in 2019 E3 in the Nintendo section.
Yeah.
So
I
to
mean,
see them get that was a big get.
all things pointed to that being exclusive
Yes.
to them for a time.
Yes.
And Phil came in with the bag. Very smart.
Yeah, Phil's got
You know,
some-
I was gonna say, Saab's looking a little different. He's missing a couple knees there, Cog.
Yeah, listen, man, it's rare in when I get my brother like you understand like Saab is,
Yeah, I don't give up knees.
he
dude.
does not like he's one of the smartest people I know. I've known this kid third grade. It's rare to get him. Like I'm like finally. Like I feel like he's never wrong. Like he's been on
You
fight
know
even
what
with the
it is, though?
Activision, bro. Like
I
you had
would've-
the Activision joint before
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. The
Acquisition.
Activision one was just one of those things. It's like they're so into dregs. Why not? Like just give it a shot. Who knows, right? And look, that happened. But the thing about the Persona stuff is that these guys, you know, although they're under the Sega umbrella, they're very much kind of an island unto themselves.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, it just felt like they, you know, if Sega had come to them and be like, hey man, what's up with these games on Xbox? It felt like they were like, no, no way.
You can't tell us what to do.
You can't tell us what to do. You own us, but you can't tell us. And so it really felt like for whatever reason, they just did not see the value in putting it on Xbox. And then apparently the bag was dropped off. A very big, nice bag.
Phil Dominus.
But I think, I mean, it opens up the door for so much more. So I'm glad about that. Because again, we had Atlas games on 360. So there's, you know, I'm happy that's the thing. So on Switch,
Yes.
I got that Shredder's Revenge. I had to impose my my gaming sensibilities on my niece and nephew. So I just bought them. Each
Oh,
a
he's like, no,
copy of the game.
y'all gonna play. Would be
Y'all gonna play. So
Uncle
my
Sal.
nephew, they didn't call me to be like, thank you, Theo, nothing. So I called him like, hey, what's going on? Did you get something new? They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh really?
Oh no, the disrespect of the retro goodness.
Disrespected the rest. So then my nephew eventually was like, oh, I'm just kidding. I knew about it, whatever. Then he's like, I haven't played it yet. So he goes and he plays it. He calls me this morning at 10 a.m. I am knocked out because I went to bed so late. And I'm like, he's like, Theo, do you know it only has 15 stages? I finished it already.
Like I love how it's only 15.
I'm like, the point is replayability. I'll call you later. He's like, I don't know. I want to play this again. I'm like, great, that's fine. And my niece, forget it. She hasn't even contacted me once. So
wow.
yeah,
Remember how crazy that game was in the arcade for us back in the day. It's so interesting, the generational gap.
it is because he doesn't know what that is at all. Like I tell him, hey, you had to stand in front of this machine and put quarters in to keep playing. He's like, are you stupid? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play Fortnite and whatever. So yeah. So, but he seemed like he enjoyed it though. So I have to teach him. It's about replayability with these games. Like play it with another turtle.
And with another person. Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Exactly. So I'm a Mikey guy too. So I've been playing with Mikey. Oh man. You know what it is? These games, when you look back at Turtles in Time, the original Turtles, they're simplistic in terms of combos and stuff like that. They're fairly simplistic. What Tribute does and what Dotemu does is that they take that formula and then modernize it and expand upon it.
Yes.
They did it with Streets of Rage 4. With this, even more so, like the combos that you have, the super moves, like it really is a beautiful thing. At first, the only thing that threw me off a little bit was that they shrunk the characters a little bit. And we noticed that from the beginning. I was like, why don't they make the characters as tall as they are in the arcade? Yeah, but you get over that very quickly. But the game it's just a joy. It really is a joy. So yeah, I bought it 3 times and I have yet to play it on Xbox.
Come on, Saab. You know what I saw? There are people giving like opinions of what they should do next, right? You got Streets of Rage 4, which was great. Now you got Turtles.
Yep.
People were saying, how about that X-Men?
Ooh.
do one of those
Bro.
X-Men,
Oh
arcade
my
games
God.
and redo that. How amazing would that be?
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. That's a good one, Rand. That is a good one.
These are guys that the pedigree that they have, they can keep doing the arcade stuff, right? But they can even go back in and take a game like Gunstar Heroes, like a treasure game that treasure doesn't even exist anymore, and take that and bring it to the next level, or go back and make like a Guardian Heroes. Like Guardian Heroes, when it came to a beat 'em up, it was probably it's a beat 'em up with RPG sensibilities, right? Kind of in the vein of the Capcom D&D side-scrolling games. Those games had, again, a lot more mechanics in terms of the combat mechanics, in terms of like magic mechanics and stuff like that. But again, with the pedigree these guys have, sky's the limit when it comes to coming back to that stuff. And they said it in an interview. I think they were talking to IGN, I believe. And they said, like, we were lucky to get the TMNT license, but if not, everything you see in this game would have been for a property that we were creating for ourselves, right? So that's not off the table either for them to make their own brand new property, which is super exciting for me, because again, the expertise there is insane, and you don't see pixel art like this anymore.
Just the attention to detail. They really, what I like is that they do such a good job in reverence to the source material, but with, like you said, a modern flair, that publishers are like trusting them. Like for Sega to trust you and then call their game Streets of Rage 4 when it technically wasn't made by them, so to speak, that's a big deal. But I think Rand's on fire with that X-Men.
X-Men is my goodness.
You think of going back, what was your guys' favorite brawler arcade machine back in the day?
Man, I take it back, bro. I was from the Double Dragon.
Double Dragon.
That's what.
And Double Dragon isn't. If you think about it now, it wasn't a great game, but it was just like that's what it was. Like it was Double Dragon.
Mine has to be The Simpsons. I've done so much money into that, man. There's a school near us that every summer would have the carnival would come in, right?
Right.
And so we'd all go, except I wouldn't ride any of the rides because in the gymnasium they would have all the arcades set up, and I just would spend the entire night in the arcades playing Simpsons, playing Turtles, playing the Aliens versus Predator one.
Yeah, shout out to Firestar. He got Mr. M. Final Fight was serious.
Oh,
dude.
Final Fight. That was good.
Final Fight's amazing, but do you remember the Punisher one? There's a Punisher one. What the heck was the other one? Obviously, Captain America and the Avengers. That was fun as well.
Yeah. Find about that one. Yeah, they had a lot of us, man. So that's been rocking your.
Man.
Game.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've been able to play. Is I've yet to. I can't. My consoles are buried somewhere. I gotta find them.
You know how that moving go. You already know. And of course, we've got the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi, LordCognito, spreading that realness in the realm of the ILP. Not telling what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Shout out to Defining Duke. Shout out to Mr. Matty Plays. Got that up right now. If you missed it, we're talking about Matty's going through it, man. With Fallout 5. See, the cops, they agree. They upset. You know what I'm saying? The potential of when Fallout could come is like killing my boy. So he's going.
We tried telling him, we're like, hey man, Fallout 5, 2032, 2031. And he was like,
2031.
No, they're going to be coming before then. And he was like, what about New Vegas 2? And it's just like, man, well, when could they get to it realistically, even if they could? 2028? You're looking for a long time for Fallout.
And we had a great discussion on the thought process behind that and what could possibly be done and stuff like that. So that's a good one. And then he's going to get killed for some of his habits. There's a question. Y'all going to know what it is. Maddie's habits. That's all. Go check that out. There's a big debate on that. Shout out to the last one. Yeah, Maddie's got some things that they're going to kill him for. And I was like, yeah, put that in there for next week. I want to see what the community say about.
Besides the macaroni with a spoon.
Besides macaroni with a spoon. Besides ketchup on Matt or whatever. Maddie, this one might go viral with how crazy Maddie it's not good. He's just gangster with it. Like I never heard of nobody do this in the bathroom. I'm not gonna spoil it. Y'all go check that out. It's lit. Shout out to The Last Word, man. I want to shout out The Last Word. You know, it's our little Destiny podcast that, you know, started just me and E were on Flashpoint, and then it expanded. We got Ty, got Travis, you know what I'm saying, on it. But it was a big episode for us because obviously we love this damn, you know what I'm saying, Destiny so much. ILO's podcast was founded off of that. And then obviously we had people like Rand, like, we like you, but you guys talk only Destiny and I don't want to hear that. So that's The Last Word was created. But salute to this episode. We had Bungie on. We had senior creative lead, Tom Farnsworth. Absolute fantastic. Learning behind the scene how the game is made, how they structure the narrative, how they do things in conjunction with a season versus expansion. Highly recommend. It's up on ILP right now. Go check that out. He's in there for at least the first 45 minutes to an hour. You can really learn a lot, you know what I'm saying, from a development standpoint. So check that out. Also, we went to GCX, so I got to meet Travis and E again in the flesh. That was cool. He called me and E Gears of War characters. He's like, you don't realize how big they are until you're next to them. So we got big. Shout out to Travis. Shout out to Ted.
And Travis is like real thin, like
yeah. And he's short, so it's fun. I was like, hey, come here, let me squeeze you, and toss you around some bit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to GCX. Shout out to everybody that pulled up. Met so many people at GCX, man. The list goes on. Shout out to everybody. Of course, DJ Oros was in the building. The Destiny Bestie, salute. You know what I'm saying? All my crew. Back for Dead is in there. I met him and his beautiful wife. Salute everybody that pulled up. We had a good time. As far as gaming, yeah, man, I've been obviously with the Destiny stuff. I finished the Duality Dungeon. Absolutely fantastic. Go check that out. Strong narrative from the Leviathan. You know, my VR kick. Demio's new content is out. Curse of the Serpent Lord is amazing. Look, I know people are like, oh, you just saying that because you VR now. Listen, I'm telling y'all right now, as far as turn-based, that's why I wish Jez was here, because I wanted to ask him something. As far as turn-based, I had Gears Tactics as like the hottest new turn-based game, right? Demio, man. Yo, I mean, you know, the cooperative aspect, some of the best boss battles I've ever seen in turn-based. Gears Tactics got some good boss battles, but yeah, I gotta salute them. They got a PC port out for my you know, what is it? We call them the flat earthers. What we call them? People?
What are they called? The pancake.
Pancake. Yeah. Pancake guy. Yeah. Oh, K Asante in the building met you. That's right. Met him at GCA. Shout out to K Asante. You know he's Captain Keys, man, right? You ain't know from Halo Infinite series? He's a dead ringer. But anyway.
Oh, he is?
Yeah,
he's
bro,
dead ringer. But...
Dead ringer. So
I know they were saying this on Twitter. I remember they were saying this, that he was a dead ringer for the Captain Keys from the show. Yeah.
Shout out to Dolph Chalice. DVO's bloody fantastic. You already know. Yeah, salute. Yeah, it is really good. It's so good. Like, I'm at the point right now, I'm on a campaign. The PC port's out. Xbox. Yo, Phil, make the call. Let's get that port going on. Xbox gamers need to know about Demio. I'm telling you, shout out to Resolution Games. They're killing it. And then, like Solve, what you said, As Dusk Falls, man, we got a chance to meet Interior Night, the developers, you know what I'm saying, up in the city. Really pleasant surprise, you know what I'm saying? I know that was like an in the corner game for me because I like those Telltale types of experience, but very well done. Great art style, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, it's full motion and all that. It's kind of like stills, but like done in a way where every 20 seconds there's choices that has to be made. You can play up to 8 players. This is going to be huge for xCloud mobile.
Streaming.
Yeah, streaming. Because what it is you could hand your mom your phone, a phone. She could play. She don't even need a controller, right? Then what it is got this override system. So we're playing it together and choices got to be made. But I'm like, yo, I don't agree with this. We need to do this. And it judges you at the end as like what type of person you are. Yo, you a loyal person. You put family above this, that, and the third. And true Mass Effect level choices where like the paths are structured. Like there's like multiple endings in the game. There's different timelines in the game. Like this game is way deeper. It's not as simple as people think it is.
Yes.
I hope as long as this narrative is good and compelling, if they pull that off, they got one. And I see why Xbox Global Pro should do it because it fits in the ethos, right? And then the Twitch streaming, As Dusk Falls, y'all keep an eye out for As Dusk Fall. And the last thing, I think I could talk about it. I don't think it's no NDA. Naraka's Blade Point. The demo's out. Got a chance to play that. I like it. A lot of potential there. So check that out. And let's get the super chats so if we can. Let's do a little catch up on the super chats.
Got these super chats. You got Boonty, member for 11 months. Happy Father's Day to all the real fathers out here that have a wonderful and blessed day. Enough respect to each and every one, to you as well, sir. Thank you, brother. My brother, I don't know who you are. Let me play with your joystick.
Oh, that's your man. Let's go. What he got to say?
$5 super chat. Happy Father's Day, Sam. What should I get you as a present, Daddy?
Oh, yo.
What?
Whoa.
Damn. Oh man.
His dad is here.
Hey. Steam Deck would be nice.
Don't play with that man emotions, Saul. You out here married. Don't lead him on. Shout out, yo. He be here. He be so happy with Saul.
That is hilarious.
Shout out to Can I Play with Your Joystick.
We got Big Mad Mo, member for 24 months. Thank you, sir. Keep doing what y'all doing. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, and you as well, brother.
No doubt, salute.
Then we got Black Ronin 357, member for 14 months. Happy Father's Day and Juneteenth to the realm. Xbox Showcase was a B+.
Okay,
Cool.
Salute.
And we got the homie, Lords of Gaming's finest, Big Cloud Gaming, member for 16 months. Let's go. We in here. Salute to the realm, to you as well, brother.
No, that's not the Big Cloud. Amazing interview up right now on lordsofgaming.net. Believe the Blizzard, the FX director. Correct me if I'm wrong, Big Cloud. Tremendous interview. You're always killing it with the Sony interviews. Got to salute an absolute great addition to the lordsofgaming.net team. So salute to him.
Shout out. Let's put the crest in the chat for Gerald Mack. Welcome to Lord Silver. Thank you, my brother. You know, J Mac always in there repping.
J Mac.
Put those crests in the chat. And we're caught up. We're good.
No doubt. Salute to Lord Boxenberger in the room.
What's up?
What's up, brother?
He's still going to be Archimedes to me. I don't care. I liked it, Archimedes.
I get that a lot.
I liked it. But salute. How you doing, brother? Thank you for pulling up in the short moment.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, man. I was lying in my kid's baby pool because it is incredibly hot in here.
Yes.
And so that's why I needed 5 minutes to dress and to dry off.
You got presentable. The world, what is it? World of Gaming? What we doing? What's the podcast? So give a shout out to the podcast right quick, man.
Yeah, I'm hosting the World of Gaming, a weekly podcast every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. UK time.
Okay.
Having each and every week different guests. We talk about all things gaming, technology, news, and stuff, and we always have a good time. And Rand has been on the show, for example.
Indeed, I have. It was a good show.
Thanks, man.
No doubt. Good to have you, brother. Thanks for pulling up. And real quick, what's up,
it's funny that you say be presentable because my wife was like, "You're not podcasting in your underwear. Go put on some
I like that. Salute to her. You already know. Real quick, and a word from our sponsor. Shout out to Advanced GG, yo. Make sure y'all get that up. That now. 20%
which
off.
one is that?
This the Focus. This the Split Gate. This the Split Gate joint. Focus. The Rocket Pop. Absolutely fantastic. Coffee substitute. You don't like coffee? You know what I'm saying? You want to be up for your long gaming sessions? Get that Focus. And then, of course, for my workout guys. And if you're not a workout guy, we got the Energy Line Dream Team Punch. Is absolutely amazing, delicious. One of my favorite flavors right now. Go check that out. Link is in the description as well as pinned in the chat. 20% off. And last but not least, for those who don't like energy drinks, no sugar, no caffeine, none of that. Get that hydration, y'all. Hydration is literally like a Gatorade, with electrolytes in it. So pretty much there's none of that extra stuff, any caffeine, no caffeine. For the people who don't want that, no caffeine. So Father's Day special, 20% off, code ILO. Yes, I'm pushing powder. Yes. Shout out to I'm pushing that P. Go get that.
See,
you already know.
I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong because I'm doing the coffee and then I'm doing
what you doing the coffee? Then you doing the energy?
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, slow down on your powder, sir. Slow down on your powder. No more than one scoop per 8 ounces of water. You know what I'm saying? One, slow down.
Put 2 in there.
Doing too much powder, baby. Wipe your nose. Wipe your nose. But after that, then we go for no more 2 scoops for 16 ounces. No more than 2 scoops for a day. And then that's it. That's more than enough. You ain't got to do no more than that. But yeah, go salute that. I already got the plug. I got you. I got that advance for you. I got that advance. Anyway, so we done plugging. We done doing all our promotional
Let me get
stuff.
this 2 more real quick.
Show. Okay.
We got Gerald back. Shout out to you, sir. Oh, hell, the ILP salute the Lord's Happy Dad's Day realm to you as well, my brother. Thank you. And we got JD Gamer, $5 super chat. Giving a shout out to the Lords. Hit that like button. Thank you, sir.
No doubt. So we all caught up? All good?
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
He said the hustle is real even on the Lord's Day. No, don't judge me, Gerald Mack. Salute. All right, listen. All right, cool. So look, this is what we're here for, man. This is our kind of like traditional thing that we do. The Xbox Showcase aftermath, right? So now that we've had a chance to kind of settle in, we've had the announcements, we had the emotionality of it, all the things that took place. I want everyone's feeling on that. We'll start with Red. Again, we're going to start with just the showcase itself. We'll separate the extended showcase, but just the showcase, now that you've had time for it to settle in, Rand Outdoor, has anything changed? How are we feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's really changed. I thought it was a solid show. I didn't think it was like a great show or a bad show. I give it like solid B, maybe more towards floating like B minus.
Okay.
I did feel like there's definitely a lot of games that are coming out for Xbox that I really want to play, and they definitely highlighted a lot of those during this format, like High in Life from the Rick and Morty people.
Very unique title.
Like we even got the info that might have been a Stadia game, right?
It was that, and what was the other game that was a Stadia game?
The Quarry.
The Quarry, yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the info dropped on Friday. There was like the Benedict's Fox game that looked really cool, and a few others. Like just off the top of my head, I can't remember them all, but. I think the big takeaway for a lot of people, at least like when I talk to people or when I read the chat of Xbox 2 or the comment sections everywhere, is like a lot of people were thrown off by the 12-month thing. Right? A lot of people had expectations of seeing certain games, right? And, I mean, like I made my prediction video based around the fact that I thought, hey, this is going to be your typical Microsoft show. They're going to show stuff coming soon, but then they're going to announce things coming in a couple years. Right. Well, we were all wrong. So Microsoft decided not to do that. And I think that really kind of screwed with people's expectations because everybody's like, all right, well, Valve's going to be there and Contraband and Hellblade 2 and all these other games that might be coming soon. And then as soon as Sarah was like, no, we're doing something we've never done before, first time ever. This is all the stuff you're playing in the next year. And everybody was like, oh, well, I guess we're not going to see some of the stuff, which is in stark contrast to how most of these shows are.
Yes.
Like we've been basically kind of been like, I don't know, I'm not going to say force fed, but we've been
trained to expect more.
To expect CGI announcements of games 3 years out. And for a lot of people, that is what E3 is all about. It's about getting hyped for games that are years away, right? So when you finally like get into this thing where it's just a year, I don't know, people, it's such a new concept that a lot of people didn't really know how to react or were disappointed that we weren't going to see certain games. Like Xbox is kind of in that like, damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, right? Like it's like, okay, here's all the stuff coming, but then they are also the ones that announced 2 years ago, here's Avowed, here's Fable, here's State of Decay 3, here's Perfect Dark, and people want to see updates on those titles, right? And you're not getting it, so there's that frustration, disappointment from, maybe wanting to see that, that permeated through the showcase, but I appreciated the format. I really way more enjoy the look at gameplay than I do typically at a CGI trailer. And I really think the showcase would have been better served if they did it next year than they did this year.
I agree.
Mainly because
break it down.
To me, the reason I gave it like a solid score, like a B with maybe floating to a B minus, was I felt like this year's show was too much, or it felt like a repeat of last year's. Okay. Right? So you're going into this year's show and you're like, okay, what's going to be new? And then they just hit you with Starfield again and Redfall again. Right. And instead of Forza Horizon, you get Forza Motorsport. And then we get another look at Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76. So there was a part of the show, at least to me, that was just last year's show. Gotcha. Just done again, but longer. And, but I do appreciate immensely the longer look at Starfield to finally see what that's like, what Redfall is all about, right? I just feel like they should have done a regular show this year and then done the 12 months next year, because there's a lot more titles. Activision most likely would have been acquired by then. The studios. I want to ask you, not to interrupt you, two things. One, when you say you wanted that next year, the format of the show, because it almost sounded like you didn't want to see the stuff in Redfall. Okay. I like the format of the show. Okay. I just didn't. I felt like there wasn't enough. New announcements from Xbox Game Studios. Gotcha. Which is why I'm saying this show would have worked better next year. Oh, you mean the format? Right. The format would have worked better next year. Because there would have been a whole bunch of new stuff. Gotcha. Whereas this year's show was just a bunch of stuff you already knew. Totally understand. From last year. Let me back you up. One last question, and I'll stop interrupting you. So then now, do you think it was a bad precedent for Sarah to come out during the show, right? Like, my question to you is, are you upset that kind of like maybe they shouldn't have done that announcement during the show versus like an Aaron Greenberg tweet prior to the show saying, "Hey, these are the 12 months." Like, is that part of the source of your frustration? I mean, I'm not frustrated by it. I'm just looking at it and being like, "Oh, this would have worked better next year." But I'm more kind of thinking about it from people in the community's like perspective. Xbox is usually pretty good at qualifying or setting expectations on what shows are going to be about, right? Right. They didn't do this year. And a lot of people were using that as, well, Wolfenstein 3's coming, and hold on. Everybody was all getting hyped for all these certain things that potentially might happen because Aaron Greenberg didn't set anybody's expectations, right? Yeah. I do feel that if they had said a week out, if Aaron Greenberg come out and said, "Hey, just want to give everybody an update. The games that are going to be shown are just going to be strictly the games that are coming out in the next year. So from June to June." Okay. I think people, just like with the Starfield and Redfall delay, you let like people get out their emotions there. Because I think me and you had this conversation. You asked me what would have been better if they announced the delays of Starfield and Redfall a month before or announced them during the conference, remember? Yes. And we both were like, well, obviously announcing it before because the whole talk of the conference would have been those delays. I do think people would have appreciated it more. But I mean, maybe I'm in the minority in this one because looking at reactions online, looking at like Jeff Keighley's poll, it was like, mostly A's and B's. It was like 75% A and a B. So it feels like maybe Microsoft accomplished what they set out to do. Like the showcase wasn't so much about selling Xbox Game Studios. It was really just about selling Game Pass. About like, here's a service that is coming out and here's all these games that you can enjoy in the next year. Like, look at everything here. And while hardcore guys might have been like, oh man, I really wanted to see my favorite game and I didn't see it, somebody else might watching it might appreciate the diversity and found at least a game that they would hang their hat on and be like, that's cool. These are all the things coming. I thought this show was really good. So I guess it really depends on what you wanted out of the show. Realistically, I know some people were frustrated. King, we had him on Xbox too. I heard what he said. King didn't care for it so much. I've heard other people didn't care for it so much, which is fine. Everybody's voiced their opinions, and everybody can have their thoughts about those things. But Yeah, I just I just felt it was just a solid show. I did feel last year's was a lot better. Last year's I felt was one of their best shows ever, and I think this one was, I don't know, like it didn't hit as high, it didn't hit as high as a note for me as I thought maybe it could have.
Gotcha.
But I feel like next year with this format of 12 months, seeing avowed gameplay and contraband gameplay and all that sort of stuff, I think people would be like, oh, okay, this is what's coming. So, man, I mean, those are pretty much my thoughts, guys.
I feel you, man. I feel you, Rand. Let's get my man Boxenberger. I need the proper pronunciation of Wolfenstein. I had to correct. We have Germany.
Wolfenstein.
Thank you.
Wolfenstein.
I'll say it the way I want to say it.
Can you say Terror Billy for me, please?
Terror Billy.
Salute the Boxenberger, man. So what's up with the world of the game? How are we feeling now that the show got a chance to settle in? We look at it now. Has anything changed? Has your score remained the same? Has it gone up? Like, what are you feeling about the Xbox showcase?
Oh, it has pretty much remained the same. My initial thoughts were really mixed. There were some parts of the show that I absolutely loved, like that they focused on gameplay. I've been saying that for a long time. I want them to show more gameplay, less CGI. They did a fantastic job with that. And I mean, some of the games that they have shown look incredible. Of course, the big ones like Starfield, Redfall, Forza, awesome. Diablo showed really well. So it's really not about what they showed in the show. That was my problem. I have two issues with the show. The first is that Xbox has arguably their worst year ever. 2022 is pretty much empty from a first party perspective. I mean, I'm not counting Pentiment here, but so
Pentiment's coming out.
yeah, you know what I mean. So it's,
are we implying AAA first party?
AAA first
okay.
party. No, even if we count Pentiment, it is really empty, and I actually have a problem with that. I think we all agree that probably 2017 was considered the low point for Xbox so far. But at least in that year, they had a console launch, which was pretty exciting with the Xbox One X. And then they bought all these studios in 2018, 19, and now we're here 4 years later. And with 23 studios, you can't put out a single game. I found that very irritating. And I've heard so many times people say that, Game Pass is going to keep me busy. And for me, at least, I personally have to say, is it really? From what they have shown in the showcase, I have like 3-4 Game Pass games that come this year. There are tons of stuff, tons of games coming next year that I'm super excited about. But this year, it's a Plague Tale, it's High on Life. Then it is Dark Tide, which wasn't even at the show. And maybe I'm missing one. So I'm not sure if that is going to keep me busy, at least from what they have announced to date. Persona is not doing anything for me. That's just not.
It's not sure. Gotcha. Okay.
So, what is there in 2022? And I am actually disappointed in Xbox that this has happened. So that is, of course, a big minus for me there. And the second thing is with the 12-month format. I get what Rand is saying, and I agree that this format probably would have worked a lot better next year. But in a year where you really don't have any games and the exciting stuff is really coming at the end of the 12-month period that you have showcased. I'm not sure if this is really what you should have done and not give us a little bit an update on the roadmap that is coming a little bit further down the line. And I find it hard to believe that out of all these studios, you couldn't show either an update or at least one or two surprise announcements, like the Compulsion game in Excel. I don't know.
I was hoping
for
something.
But
let me interrupt you one quick thing, because you're making some interesting points. What I wanted to ask you, Boxenberger, do you think the choice they made to do the 12 months, which I could tell you a little frustrated with, and a lot of people are frustrated, a lot of people agree with you, do you think that's indicative that things are not ready or there is a problem? Because sometimes you hear that discussion. I just want to know what your mindset was on that.
Yeah, well, it is.
Speak your truth.
Yeah, I will speak my truth. I lost so many followers, you have no idea.
Oh, you were spicy. Oh, I missed this. Let me hear it. Let's go.
But I do think, who do you want to hold responsible for not having a single first-party major release in 15 months at least? Like from November 21 to at least February 23? No releases. Who do you hold responsible? Of course, it is a management problem. And I think it is. If you bring up the point about management problem, the question really is: I'm not saying that necessarily the wrong people are in the wrong position to make the decisions, but the way how the company acts with their hands-off mentality is a problem. We have seen it with 343. We have heard other studios having issues like The Initiative. We have heard Undead Labs and so on. I'm not really sure if that is actually the right approach. The right approach. Yeah. Because the pandemic is a real thing, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear the excuse. It is an issue, but it is also an issue that is ongoing for 2 years plus now, and other companies have adjusted to that, and they have found their ways of working around that. And
in fairness, Boxenberger, a lot of the major platform holders, like literally every major game on Sony's platform and Nintendo with Breath of the Wild 2 has been delayed. Just in fairness, and I just wanted to be clear. But I understand your perspective. I understand your perspective.
I agree there. Every like you said, every major publisher has delayed almost every game, at least for a bit. But that still leaves us Xbox gamers with a 15-month dry streak. And you don't have that on any other platform. And
that's a good point.
So I think Xbox really has an issue there, and it's gonna eventually all these games have to come out. And 23, it looks like 23 is finally the year. I mean, at least from what we already know, look at the first half with the Diablo 4, a Forza, Redfall, a Starfield. It's an insane first half of a year. I just do hope that these holds, these dry streaks won't come up in a 24, 25 again because of some weird things. But as of right now, for the showcase, it was a good show. It was really not that they showed the wrong stuff. Per se, I just thought that they missed a couple of things. Leave the Fallout 76 stuff out and the Elder Scrolls Online, and show us a CGI trailer there. I'm with you. A CGI trailer for a compulsion game. Then you still have the gameplay, and you give us a little bit an outlook for the roadmap, what is coming a little bit later down the line.
I get it. You wanted an hour of Sea of Thieves. That's what you wanted.
But I'm with him. He's making some good points about a lot of people.
100%.
A lot of people had issue with seeing Fallout 76, ESO, Sea of Thieves, content at the big show, so to speak, as opposed to the extended showcase. So that sentiment has been out there. So I have heard that. I hear you, Boxenberger. I hear you, man. Talking that talk. No doubt. I'll let you finish your thought, and then I'll pass it off to Adam.
I'm pretty much done. I just want to say one thing about the extended showcase.
Hold on, one second. Hold that thought, because that's what next we're gonna.
Okay. So we're talking about that.
Yeah, just the main one. Just the main one.
Then I think I'm pretty much done. So I ended up giving this a 7 out of 10. It's really not that there were too many games that I'm looking forward to in that show that I say it's a bad show. That wasn't a bad show. I just thought that they missed 2 things, and that is, like I said, the games we have in 22 and a little bit of excitement with a surprise announcement. So,
No, a second. Let me address something real quick. Shout out to Boozy. Was it Boozy the Club? He's like, no lessons learned in the Xbox community. Stop hyping the games for the future. Discuss games we can play for. All right, look, I understand your sentiment, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, as a showcase part of it is called the prediction series, what we predict to happen and what we may want to happen. So people have varied levels of excitement in what they have. Now, where I do agree with them, some people get to put themselves on these predictions and then they don't happen and they blame Xbox, you know what I'm saying, for it to not happen. But to tell people to stop being excited or to stop making predictions, I can't roll with that one, bro. But anyway, moving on. Lord Attic, how we doing? Are we awake? How's it going? He's in the bushes still.
Can you not hear me?
You're low.
Oh,
You're really low.
You're low.
Really low.
Wait, is that better?
A little bit. Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, I just don't feel good.
Yeah, you don't have to, if you wasn't feeling good, bro. Like I said, Jazz wasn't feeling good today,
You
too.
want me? I'm just gonna sit in bed. I might as well at least do something.
Okay. Well, we glad to have you. I didn't know what was going on. But go ahead, man. Like, just, again, the regular showcase itself, you know, now that the dust is settled, like, how are you feeling about it? Has anything changed or has it remained the same?
I feel like the show is underwhelming for me. Now, I think the biggest reason it is because they have set weird expectations in previous years. Like 1 year they'll show everything. 1 year now they're doing 12 months. So I feel like throughout the last couple years, we've seen stuff like Avowed, Fable, you know, Perfect Dark. So people expected, we saw that years ago. We're expecting actual updates on these games now. And then Sarah Bond pops up on stage and say, "We showed you 12 months." And I'm like, what? It's like, look, I'm not saying that like this isn't the way they should have, because I'd actually prefer this over showing me games as years apart. But I prefer this after you've got those games out. So we're not expecting those games to show up.
Okay.
So, I think they need to do a little bit of both. I think the best thing that they need to do is I think they said it was 90 minutes. So yeah. I would say 70 minutes of this is the 12-month thing. And that last 20-25% of the show is we've showed you what's going to be here soon. This is what is going to be out here farther than 12 months.
Okay.
I feel like when you dig themselves in a box like they did, and one, they didn't set expectations correctly. I mean, I've literally seen Aaron Grimber come out and address people if there's one or two rumors going out there.
Right.
He didn't do none of that. So, I think that's part of the issues too. It's we're used to getting the Aaron Greenberg tweet beforehand,
as opposed to Sarah coming on and saying it in the show.
The 12-month thing should have been said
beforehand. Gotcha.
Show.
Okay.
It's just weird, the Microsoft that we deal with, why they didn't do that. I wouldn't want to say that they intentionally bamboozled us, they wanted us to be excited, but it's just every year, this is the king of the set your expectations correctly. And now randomly this year, it's like they forgot that memo. And it's just look, it is what it is. Maybe they didn't want to say the 12-month thing. I don't know. But then again, it's like Rand said. Jeff Keighley had a poll that was over 100,000 people voted. The majority of them voted A. So,
is the hardcore disconnected? Are we as the hardcore disconnected from the casual and the masses? And the masses, let's just say, obviously his poll don't represent everyone, but he has a big following, right? So is that indicative that gaming has passed us hardcore gamers by? It's a new era because they love the show. There's A's and B's.
Yeah, you know what it was, man. It was Colt and Rand retweeting, so all they followed.
So Colt and Rand are responsible for blowing up Jeff Keighley's phone.
Got it. Retweeted, sir.
Got it.
So
you're rigging the poll there.
Is it possible to rig Jeff Keighley's poll? I feel like he's mostly followed by PlayStation guys. That's his audience.
So are you saying, Rand, that maybe because PlayStation and other platform holders that maybe are not in the Xbox ecosystem really like the show as opposed to the hardcore Xbox guy?
I did a poll.
Let's go. What's your poll?
And you would. I have 34,000 followers.
Flex.
Yeah. And you would figure most of my followers are Xbox. Not necessarily always hardcore, but Xbox focused.
Yeah.
And I had 6,000 votes, and mine was very, very strongly a B.
Okay.
Like overwhelmingly so would be, and then Jeff's was mostly an A. So maybe there was a disconnect between the hardcore Xbox guys who have it in their heads, Fables dancing around their heads and Perfect Dark dance. They're thinking of like how Xbox has always done their shows. And they're thinking like we're gonna get all these new announcements, right? Wolfenstein 3, we're gonna get Banjo Kazooie, we're gonna get the Gears collection, and we're gonna get all these announcements, and then none of it actually shows up. And like Boxenberger said, and I totally agree with him, 2022 worst year in Xbox first party history, like 100%. Now I've heard Colt say that he thinks the reason they did the 12 months was to essentially hide the fact that they have nothing from first party this year, right?
I agree with them. They deliberately did that for a reason.
As Dust Falls.
And to be honest with you, Rand, I wouldn't be surprised next year if they abandoned the 12-month thing.
You think it was a stipulation? Let me ask, because y'all cooking. Do y'all think, and I've always wanted to ask Rand this, or all of y'all this, like, do you think, let's be honest, I hate to throw blame and throw the God Howard under the bus, but do you think the Starfield and Redfall situation, the double whammy of two AAA first-party games being delayed, for the most part, can we assume potentially last minute, because Microsoft was promoting these games, assuming that they were coming out, do you think that forced the game, the audible, so to speak, like the football play at the last minute to say, well, these ain't here, how do we adapt, and maybe now let's do this 12-month format? Because my question is, if those games wasn't delayed, do we get a 12-month format?
That's an interesting question, and I don't know the answer to that, because once those games got delayed, you knew Xbox was light, and the only hope was Forza Motorsport, which then was next year anyways. That's an interesting question. Like maybe in another parallel world, another multiverse, we would know the answer to that. If Starfield and Redfall were this year.
I think it's we can't. I come into June with an expectation of a certain type of show. And what they've shown me is that it pivots according to the situation at hand. And we can no longer expect that big bombastic sort of show in June if that's not what they have to show us. I think it's going to be fluid every single year. So the expectation of what an E3-esque show is, to me, is changes on a year-to-year basis. I completely agree with Rand that if they had decided to do the 12-month format next year, it looks amazing, because we probably do see Avowed. We probably do see Hellblade, right? Maybe they push something a little further out and show us that. I think that having expectations about what type of stuff you're going to see, forget about specific things, right? But what type of stuff you're going to see at an E3-esque or E3 window type show, I think it's a fool's errand from here on out, I think, just because they're going to pivot according to what they have. And that's it. I mean,
so you do think, based on that statement, you do think that changed and they pivoted.
Yeah, I don't know how early they pivoted. They might have pivoted the moment they decided they needed to delay Starfield and Redfall, and that was the plan going into setting up the show. Right. I don't know that it was a last minute thing per se, but I think
that they did the 12-month thing because they had Starfield and Redfall.
So yeah, because if Starfield and Redfall do come out in that window, then Rand's point is super valid, and this 12-month thing looks extra great because it's like, wow, we have these two humongous games in this 12-month period, and whatever. But I don't know.
Because if you look at it, Saul, they opened with one and closed with one.
Right.
Yeah, turn your mic up a little bit. You're a little low. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get.
Well, I was gonna say, I think it would look kind of spooky if they go back to regular format next year. I honestly do. Like if because then that would, because you look at like their metrics of people liking the show, right? We already know, we discussed that Jeff Keighley. I think it probably tested
that better?
internally really well, right? People at FanFest were sort of saying those things like, so like you have this situation, they've never done it before, and is it to cover for Xbox's lackluster first party this year, right? Maybe not.
I mean,
We don't know the answer to
Bethesda
that.
dropped the bomb on them last minute, Red. They
Right?
had the picture.
True,
They
true.
Phil in there was in the picture.
However,
we just saw Thor.
However, Cog,
Mm-hmm.
next year, if you go to E3, and okay, if you're looking at it, and like Boxenberger said, the game's got to come out at some point. All these titles are essentially going to have to like reach their apex and be like, all right, we're finished. And you have all these other games coming. And then if you decide not to do 12 months again, it would make the previous show be like, well, why'd you decide to do it then, but not decide to do it moving forward? So to me, it would be spooky, and I'd be like, okay, they did it last year because they just simply like Saab said, like they just changed things because of the cards they were dealt. And now that they actually have a whole bunch of stuff coming, they feel fine about changing it up again. But I think this also speaks to the idea of Xbox needs to do more shows. You can't just sit and just do one.
I
major
agree.
show anymore.
100%.
Yeah.
Look at next year, right? Look at early next year. You have Redfall and Starfield, right? You have Forza Motorsport 3.
Oh yeah.
Or Forza Motorsport 8. You have Minecraft Legends.
Yeah.
You have Era
Diablo
History
4.
Untold. If the deal goes through, you'll have Diablo 4 and Ghostwire Tokyo if it comes out after 1 year thing. That'd be 7 games from Xbox first party in a 6-month window. That is a lot of content.
Yes.
And a lot of those games, like Diablo 4, Starfield, and Redfall, and Forza Motorsport, are big enough where they deserve their own sort of show.
Yeah.
And then if you go into the end of the year and you're looking like, okay, Avowed, Hellblade 2, Contraband, Coalition's new IP, in Exile, like you start like, okay, you can't no longer rely on just one day in June.
And
you gotta do more stuff. You
And
gotta
I think they absolutely need state of play style presentations for each one of those big games, for sure.
And the assumption that the Activision Blizzard deal will close, right? Which is more content infusion, so to speak, to talk about. But continue, Red. That's a great point.
Well, yeah. So like I said,
somebody, the cops.
Somebody's
after somebody.
I'm gonna mute because the BX.
Shout out to the pros. Let's go.
Yeah, so I guess we'll find out. I mean, we know they're hiring for people for these sort of events, and maybe there is an EXO 2022. Maybe they bring that back. I mean, I think them doing FanFest again paints a good picture for them potentially bringing back like a FanFest show at the end of the year, and then maybe you can do, I don't know what's coming in the next year from them. I'm just kind of interested in seeing how they move this going forward, because I do appreciate gameplay over CGI. I don't need CGI announcements of games 3 years out. So yeah, I'm wondering how Xbox is going to do this, because the beginning of the show and the end of the show were great.
Yes,
it was just the middle of the show was just kind of. It had its ups and downs. It had its moments where it was completely boring, and then it brought it back up, but then it went back down. Yeah, and it's nice to see that all of Phil's trips to Japan paid off fruit. I know people were saying, "Oh, he just goes over there. There's nothing to it." No, he goes over there. He gets stuff done. You get Kojima signed, making a game like he said he always wanted to make. That's a big thing. You bringing back Team Ninja to the platform after they've skipped for a bit. Like, those are big moves. And then you get Atlas to finally support your platform, taking Saab's
taking all my points. Go ahead.
Right? Like,
I was everything ready. I had it all lined up for Saab. Go ahead.
Those are big things. You know, Phil's trips to Japan, they're bearing fruit. It's just I
think.
Go ahead, Attic. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the biggest issue, Ryan, is, clearly this event was used as a value point on Game Pass. All of these games coming to Game Pass in 12 months. But to me, Microsoft, the Game Pass isn't the issue. The issue is people are like, what are your studios doing? They've been they've been around since 2017, 18, and we haven't seen the majority of them.
Right.
And I think that was what they should have tackled. It's just now that Persona ain't went nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Now, people, if anything, they're even worse than they were last time. So it's just like, look, like no one. It's like I said, no one is denying how much of a value Game Pass is. You know, you could put all those games on there, and it's gonna look very appealing. But then people are gonna be like, "That's cute, but what's the stuff that I bought your Xbox for?"
Right.
So you think they should have structured the show more to address the criticism that people have about what Boxenberger brought up earlier about the mismanagement of studios, and address that more?
It's not even about the
directly?
mismanagement. It's not even about the mismanagement. I think people just like look. People go look at all the prediction shows. Look, most of us, I thought we had realistic expectations, and we didn't.
Some had some pie for the sky.
Oh, you get what I'm saying?
In fairness, we I gotta be fair.
We don't expect to see. We don't expect to see Avowed. Boom. We don't expect to see Fable. We don't expect to see Perfect Dark. I thought we was coming into this with realistic expectations.
I'm with you, and that's what Boozy, whatever his name, has said. Like I felt us was realistic. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you're gonna have, like I said, the Booms and the Kids. Shout out to them. We love them. We're not talking. You know, they're gonna go for it, right? But people can't impose those two as everyone in the Xbox community felt that way. I personally felt Boxenberger, you, Addicts of Ren, all of us, I felt were in the realm of reason of what realistically happened.
Nobody could predict that Microsoft was going to do something they've never done before. Right?
That's true.
And if they had told us that, I would have changed my predictions, and I would have nailed
it. At the bare minimum, Rand, they should have told us at least Avowed wasn't going to be there. At the bare minimum, like there was people hyping up Avowed being at the show for like a month and a half before the show.
So you wanted them to come out and say it's not?
Yes, they've done that before. I'm just trying
to think the president when they've said, "Hey, we're not going to show you this game."
They've done that with Halo before. They've done that in the past before, saying a certain game's not going to be there. They've done that with Fable a couple times. Fable's not going to be at this show. They've done that. Aaron Greenberg is the king. That's why I feel like they didn't. I don't know why they didn't do it this time. It was sort of
their MO after the third-party gameplay kind of fiasco, if you want to call it that. When he was like, "Oh, we're gonna have gameplay at the," and then they showed like,
I'm trying to remember specifically when Greenberg's making a tweet saying this game ain't gonna be there. I'm just saying, maybe correct me if I'm wrong.
He's put it on Twitter before. Okay. I remember for a fact he did it with Fable once. I think it was last year. He did it on Fable.
I mean, I think it isn't out of the. Our expectations aren't set too high if we go into an Xbox show and we expect Xbox games to be there.
Why you have to say it like that?
This is not wrong.
Wait, are you implying that you are not a fan of the Riot Games announcement? Are you implying that the PC...
The Riot thing is a big thing. League of Legends isn't for me, but this is at least a big thing. But if you look at the whole show, it was a Bethesda show, you could say. At least they had a few games, and we had one Xbox game there, and that's about it. So I don't think that the expectations were... Some expectations were too high.
Right.
Of course.
So, exactly.
Sir,
Boozy do not like when we say it like Boom and Kiss.
Are you saying Pentiment isn't an Xbox game?
Yeah, well, no, I can't argue against that.
but you know what it is? Like, they left it out there where it's like, when you look at the big things that were shown, even though they're delayed games, they're not what you would consider of homegrown.
Wait,
Xbox
Grounded is not home. Pentiment. Are we shaming indie and double A? Is that what we doing? Are these not games?
People still make those distinctions because
it is. If it's not AAA, okay. I'm learning.
It's not their homegrown. It's not.
Obsidian is an Xbox game studio, sir.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Yes, okay, I just want to make sure they're part of the home team.
But it was embraced into the fold.
You look at it as something supplementary, okay, as opposed to the main course.
But you know how it is. Like, it is one of those things, and until a studio that they sort of built from the ground up or evolved from something smaller.
So we have caveats. So now
always going to be. I'm not saying that I have those caveats. I'm saying those caveats exist.
Okay, that's all. That's all. This is what you heard from the community.
Conversation around Xbox always involves those caveats. That's for sure. This is true.
No,
right?
I know. I'm messing with you.
Yeah. Can I give you a story?
Yes.
So the Pentiment thing, right?
Let's go.
I argued with Jez for a long time about he was like, I'm gonna leak this Pentiment game because I think it's gonna leak. And I was like, are you sure? Because I think because I had seen a screenshot from the game, right? He had showed me a screenshot.
Knew how it looked.
I knew 100% how it looked, and I told him, okay, I don't think people like you could leak it because Jez will normally get stuff and then he thinks somebody else is about to leak it, like a Jeff Grubb or maybe a Tom Henderson or somebody, right? And if he has the info, he'll be like, well, I need to put this out because I gotta, I gotta write for Windows Central for a living, so I gotta do stuff. So he had the Pentiment info. I had seen the screenshot that he showed me, and I was like, if you leak this with the name and then say it's Disco Elysium inspired and all this stuff, this is gonna set a mental picture for people. And when it's shown, nobody is going to expect the art style that it's going to have. So I kind of went back and forth with them because I'm good, Rand, okay?
Yes,
I'm like the angel on Jez's shoulder.
Yes.
I'm the one basically, listen,
Don't do it.
Maybe you shouldn't leak this stuff. You should hold something, but he's got like the devil on his shoulder that's like, do it.
Listen,
I'm always like, you know what? Maybe not.
Jeff Grubb is outside. I gotta defend my boy Jez.
Yeah, well,
if
so
he
I
don't
told
do
him,
it
like,
first, Jeff gonna do it.
So Jez did it, and the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, this game, when they revealed this game, people have this thought of what it's going to look like.
I'm guilty.
And nobody has a clue.
I'm guilty. Yep,
and
I'm guilty.
yeah, like I remember hearing Mag's reaction on it on Boom Show. I think people weren't prepared for that art style. So
no, this is fair. This is fair, and I understand exactly where you're coming from with that. And it is interesting. I'll jump in because I haven't get a chance to go. But look. With the Pentiment thing, which I got to comment because I'm so Team Obsidian. I am so.
You got the T-shirt, bro.
Bro, I got Obsidian. I love Obsidian. I think Obsidian is #1 Xbox game studio signing, and they still are, in my opinion, until Bethesda drop what they drop and prove that they're Bethesda that we know, right? But for me, I'm guilty. I built the expectation of what I thought Pentiment would be more in a AA space. And when I saw the art style, if I would have saw it, it probably threw me off because I was a little disappointed because I built my own expectation up. Now, there's no doubt in my mind, though, Josh Sawyer, the narrative, the game itself is probably going to be a fantastic game once I play
Those are the type of games that get 90s.
Right. So
Metacritic,
I know I had to check. Once I checked myself,
The
I was
writing
like,
is going to be fantastic.
writing's going to be fantastic. And I like the actual time period. So let me be clear. It was just...
It plays in Germany, so
there we go. You already know Germany in the building.
I think the biggest issue that I had with that game is how I had with Grounded. Yeah, it doesn't look like the reason I love Obsidian.
Right, and here's the thing, and this is where Solve is right with the goalposts moving and the people expectation from Xbox is that the hardcore are gonna look at that and be like, or say like, yo, that ain't it. Right, but here's the thing that's interesting to me because now the dust is settled, and I had a good talk with Manny on the Final Duke about this, right? And he asked me a great question. He's like, "Do you think this is going to be one of those shows that a year from now we look at differently?" And I think the answer is yes. And the reason why I say that is this: we the hardcore, we know what we love. We all have our biases. We all have our favorites, right? But to me, the approach that they have shown with this, take the 12-month part out of it, but the approach that they've shown is that Xbox is going to have a diverse lineup with a variety of games for everyone. That seems to be the mantra going forward. And to me, that aligns with their overall vision, which is Game Pass. Now, I'm still standing on my square. For me, it was a 7 out of 10. I wasn't mind blown. You know what I'm saying? There were some things that was definitely for me. The end of the show spoke to my soul. And I'm with Rand. Like, I don't think they get enough credit for the Japanese commitment. Like, people said that cannot be done. You know what I'm saying? The last time I even seen any Japanese presence on any level was during the Peter Moore era, which is my guy with the 360, Lost Odyssey, all that. That was eons ago.
The reaction was so bad for having Kojima and Persona on there. Alex was able to make 2 or 3 videos.
Shout out to Oh No, it's Alex. But here's the thing, my thing is those games can't miss the platform, right? if you're truly trying to be Game Pass and everywhere and every device, there's a region that you're lacking. And to me, this is how I look at it. Every genre in that show was represented, minus fighting. I'm going to be on Xbox for y'all. If y'all don't get this fighting game situation together, I'm going to be on you. I'm always going to tell you what you need to hear with the fighting games, what's going on, Killer Instinct, what's going on. That's why I'm always Team NetherRealm or whoever, the fighting game studio to make happen. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, if you looked at it objectively, in my opinion, you can't walk away from their show and say there was nothing for me. Right? There was something for you. Now the question:
unless you only play head-to-head fighters.
Exactly. Yes, the only person that should be yelling is the FGC. If the FGC watched that show and like, yo, fam, you ain't had not one fighter, bro, I'm out, Xbox. But if you're objective and honest, you can't say there's not at least one game that is interesting to you. So the point becomes now, I get the overall show. If you watch it from an overall perspective and you got your 1 to 3 games that you like, but you're like, damn, I ain't really feel nothing else, I feel that's fair, right? I feel that's fair criticism there. But I think that, look, again, I go back to the Japanese stuff. The persona, like Brand said with Atlas, Kojima making a game for them, I think is huge. I thought Redfall looked good. I
was more impressed with the showing of Redfall than I was Starfield.
Yeah, Redfall really showed me something. I came in with very low expectation for that.
I think that's what it was. Like, I kind of had a semi expectation of what to. I knew what I was going to see with Starfield to a point. I just didn't know what the game was going to look like. I had no idea what Redfall was going to be, and I can honestly say by the end of that, you could go back and watch our reaction. Like the whole time, I'm like, yo, this actually looks good. Like,
no, absolutely. Yo, Redfall really impressed me. You know what I'm saying? So you got that. You know, Starfield, I get it. Is it fair to criticize certain things about it? Absolutely. But I'm not, you know what I'm not with, Ram? I'm not with these bad faith comparisons.
What type of bad faith comparisons?
These bad faith comparisons. You know what it is? People just, to me, expose themselves for not playing Bethesda games.
Oh.
Because if you're going to sit there and say that this is a one-to-one, all this is No Man's Sky, you don't play Bethesda games. You don't know about the systems. You don't know about true RPG mechanics, NPCs, decision-making, crime, justice system, how one thing you do affects the entire world, the reactions, the AI. You don't understand that. And then the fact that this game's scope is so large, because not only do you have the true RPG, then you have what you call it, dog fighting in space, going to planets, you know what I'm saying, a narrative-based story. So if you're going to tell me, and I play No Man's Sky, so if you're going to tell me that it's like you have an agenda because you don't like the game for whatever reason, it's okay to be critical of the game. But to say that's a one-to-one, that is a bad faith comparison. I can't, because you just exposed. You don't play both. You don't play either games. You don't play No Man's Sky. You don't play what you call.
One is a survival game, and the other one is a narrative-driven RPG. So
exactly. Now, I'm with Boxenberger, where I'm with you, bro, is that to me, and this is my assumption, because of the first-party situation, I really felt they got thrown a curveball. Bethesda. I'm blaming Bethesda. I'm sorry. I think that they had every intention for Redfall, Starfield to be there. They get the memo last minute, and I'm going to say, I don't have no inside information. I felt Phil died on his sword for that. Because remember, Phil got dragged.
Regardless of what was going to happen, it is his.
Regardless. Yeah, nobody want to hear it.
He was going to fall on that sword.
I get it. Nobody want to hear it. But in his defense, Todd put his chest out talking 11/11 a year early with the date. Yeah, but my thing is, you trust in your story. Now, this comes down to approach, right? Is the hands-on approach good or not? This is maybe a situation where maybe it didn't work out in their favor. Maybe you were supposed to check their build. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you were supposed to see a little bit more. Maybe you put too much trust in them, and then they it didn't happen. And now, let's be honest, the right decision was made. Delay the game, right? Don't put this thing out and you have a situation. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, I want the best with stuff. I think the scope is tremendous. So the last thing I'll say about the management thing, because I know where you're going, Boxenberger. I just want to be fair, because I think what you're saying is fair. I don't think nothing's wrong with what you're saying. I just think that I want to show the other side too. I don't know if anybody got a chance to watch that IGN article that they did with Obsidian. And it was, yes, it really spoke a lot to me about their decision to join Xbox Game Studio. They literally said, one, specifically because of Phil. Two, when they looked at the Mojang situation, they looked at the hands off, the not with the tendrils in, yo, you gonna do this, or you gonna put Connect in the game, or you gonna force.
You know who else
Right.
they brought up that I was surprised?
Who?
He brought up Matt Booty a couple
Yes,
times too.
Matt Booty's
that
just-
he already knew who Matt Booty was. They were already friends.
Right. And
because he said in that he didn't really know Phil at that time.
Exactly. And to me, for the people who are like, yo, why y'all be capping for Phil? Literally, studios would not exist and sign with Xbox because of him. We've even heard, Rand, correct me if I'm wrong, the owner of Bethesda, who sadly passed away, and Todd are good friends of Phil, but part of the reason the deal was done was the expectation that Phil is going to be there for a couple of years.
Wasn't he solely responsible for them getting Mojang too?
Right. So all this mismanagement talk and hands-off talk, I get it. It may not work for every single studio, but there are examples of studios that love this approach and wouldn't have signed with Xbox if this approach didn't exist. So all I'm just saying for balance, that's what I'm trying to say. I love that because I didn't know it. It was Fergus Marquardt, the CEO of Obsidian. Of Obsidian. That to me is a big deal, and it gave me insight on something I didn't know. But look, last point I'll say is as far as me, where I look at it, I get it's a 7. Personally, for me, they've given me things in this showcase with the Japanese game, the Sega franchise, and all these things that I'm like, okay, the future is bright, but for this year, you're in a pickle. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of had to, that's why we got to see your thieves and the ESO, and you got to do what you got to do. But that's what I got on this. I want to quickly transition into the extent.
Wait, hold on. You just forgot about me.
You just left it over.
You have that.
Skipping over me. You know, Attic comes in, and all of a sudden I become the stepchild again.
Damn. That's because you haven't been showing up that much, Tom. That's why.
You know what it is, right? You know? We only just did an interview together this week.
We builded our trust back.
I mean, you can't really blame Cog though. You can't really see you without your knees.
Oh yeah! Shout out! I gotta say that real quick. I'll give it to you.
Solve is sitting down, so I don't
not
think
going
his knees
front.
won't be an issue.
The Persona thing, I was like, oh my god, this is that was that it touched the soul. But it was actually the Kojima thing more. The Kojima, because I've been predicting it for so long, and I'm like, I'll be hitting up Jeff. I'm like, bro, letter of intent, right? It's still on. Nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
So I'm like, all right, got it. So when Kojima came out, and I know people are like, yo, but he didn't announce a game. I get it. He did the same thing with PlayStation the first time Sony he was announced. But it's
5 years later, Death Stranding came
Shut up, Alex. Shut up. So it's symbolic. And to me, it represents a new day, a new direction. They are committed. But anyway, enough of me. Soft, get your balls off. I apologize.
No, listen, you guys pretty much touched on everything. Like, I really do think that for me, and I'm probably going to forget this by the time we get to next year's showcase, right? But for me, I just think moving forward, I'm going to remove expectations of what type of stuff we're going to see in terms of how far out, how many big surprises. I think it's just going to be fluid depending on the situation of where they're at, where the competition is at, right? And I think another thing we didn't touch upon is the fact that I really do think when it comes to determining what you're showing at a showcase, if there is a big in-person event where you know there's going to be people in an auditorium, I think the impetus to sort of show more sort of bombastic stuff is sort of there, as opposed to everybody's at home. You can get, I think it's, as a business decision, it's something that can easily be made like, hey, everybody's at home. We're not, although they did have an in-person thing this year, kind of like a fan fest thing. It's not the same as filling up the Microsoft Theater with, however many people and showing out. So I do think that's going to have some sort of determination as to what they do. But, I was hard on the show. I was very hard on the show.
You went in on Starfield.
But again, I wasn't the No Man's Sky guy. That's not
True,
my issue.
You didn't do
that.
Yeah, I'm with you on presentation, and if there's any,
we weren't going to compare No Man's Sky to Starfield. Now we are.
I definitely wasn't that dude.
Yeah, you wasn't that dude.
And I think part of it was like me, like looking back and forth at super chats, like copy pasting super chats, and I wasn't like listening to everything. I was just sort of looking at everything. But when I went back at the rundown, right, I completely agree about the lull in the middle. I think the lull in the middle is just, and King touched upon this, that it is that thing of like, if you had reordered certain stuff and make sure your highs and lows and your crescendos were certain of a certain height, then I just think it would have played out better all the way across it. When you put a bunch of games in the middle that are your ESOs and your things like that, where people kind of, like King said, Tuesday energy didn't feel like it really belonged in this big showcase. I just think it brought down the mood, and it took a little bit to sort of ramp back up. The beginning was great, the end was great. But then looking at everything that they did show in the middle, when you think about, you know, when you think about how these games looked, when you think about like a High on Life, when you think about much like, you know, the Japanese sort of, you know, the Kojima, the getting the Persona games on there, I think the Riot thing is huge for Game Pass.
People sleeping, yeah.
This is so huge for Game Pass because one of the things that I missed during the show was the fact that once these games come into Game Pass, everything that you would pay for piecemeal on the PC side is included in this Game Pass package. So you come in and you have all those heroes unlocked already, right?
And we're talking about literally the biggest games on PC.
The biggest.
Especially that Valorant. That's a beast of its own.
And we'll talk about another big game that they announced in the extended in a second. But again, very smart moves to improve the PC Game Pass aspect of Game Pass, right? But then again, you look at everything else, like Plague's Tale, Forza looked amazing.
Plague's Tale, Flintlock.
Yeah, even the Overwatch 2 stuff, that's not for us. But again, it's something, it's the kind of the first, you're seeing it, you know, the announcement of free to play and all this stuff. So honestly, looking back at it, damn near everything that's here is of interest and seems of quality. And so it's just one of those things where I got taken off guard. It is one of those things that if you tell me a week in advance, hey man, expect this kind of stuff, all of a sudden I'm not going in with that. And not that I was being unfair to them in that regard, but it is hard to pivot in the moment when you had stuff in your mind.
And we've never seen that from. In fairness to you, we've never seen Xbox say, "Yo, 12 months is all you from here to here." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But everything, like The Last Case of Benedict Fox.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that. Fantastic game.
Oh my goodness. And again, looking back at Pentiment, when you look at the pedigree of who's behind this game, and when you think about what Pentiment stands for, Pentiment is kind of
the painting beneath the paint,
the layers, and it's a form of storytelling from back then. Again, if this is incorporated in the way I think a Josh Sawyer can do, this game's gonna kill. And when you talk about, it's funny because I think we've come to the point now when we think about what the hardcore wants. I think in the long term, only the hardcore are really paying attention to this game, no matter how it looks, right? I think if you get a casual to look at this game, maybe if it plays simply on the surface, maybe they stick around. But if it's a deep RPG, kind of like what we expect, only the hardcore are the ones that are gonna stick around. So.
And that's what I want. I want it to be a hardcore RPG.
And there you go, right? So it's one of those things where it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Because ultimately the game is a game for the hardcore. It's just not what you kind of want to see or expect to see at an E3-esque presentation, right? And so again, looking at it, Pentiment seems great. Grounded has always been great, and now it's 1.0. Diablo, again, if the sale had gone through already, and they tell me Diablo day one Game Pass.
Well, Diablo still could be day one because it's not coming out till 2023. And the deal could close before then. And if it is, that's a big
big announcement.
And we ain't giving Diablo
game,
Diablo
bro. That is a
massive phenomenal, Rand, in my opinion.
That was game of the show for me.
Yeah, it was so good.
Oh my God. Yeah, Diablo 4 was definitely
the cops agree
game of the show.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, so before let the cops pass. But so the thing on Starfield, and like I said before, I think I'm going to play Starfield. I'm thoroughly going to enjoy Starfield. But my thing is just this, right? When you look at it, I look at kind of the way they were blindsided a little bit with Fallout 4 and having had Witcher 3 be as good as it was and come out months before. And so my thinking going into Starfield, after the 76 stuff and whatnot is, hey, my hope, not my thinking, my hope was that they look at their formula and be like, all right, I want to change up the game completely. I'm gonna come and we're BGS, damn it. We are the standard bearers for the Western RPG. Let's show them, right? And what felt disappointing to me was it feels like it's an evolution of their formula, and that Todd's mantra is bigger is better, right? So it's just take what we've done before, polish it to a fine shine, and make it bigger. And like I said during the show, for me, when I look at what I want out of a next-gen RPG, I'd rather smaller and denser and feeling more alive as opposed to expansive scope.
I know where you're going. I only interruption I will say is I think philosophy-wise, you're going to be disappointed because historically Bethesda has always had those larger scope type of games where actually you need to come over to Team Obsidian. Like Outer Worlds is that hubber, denser, more concise story. I should say concise, but you know what I'm saying? In the narrative
and that's
writing,
what I'm right.
I
and
think
that's
you're
what I
like,
mean. That's what I mean by games that have come out since.
Right.
Even in their own, like you look at New Vegas, same thing. It's like to me, if and I'll forgive them for this. If the bespoke parts of Starfield, the created parts, the stuff that's not procedurally generated, if that stuff is denser and feels more alive and feels like they've taken that formula to another level, is there, I forgive them for the expansiveness. But for me, it's just, again, I completely agree that
it's always
since
been that soft. That's what
that's the
Skyrim, Oblivion, these massive things.
I know, I get it.
What they do.
Get it. In my heart of hearts, what I hoped was that they looked at what has come since, and I talked about.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And I talked about Cyberpunk, and then when you get a version of Cyberpunk on PC running and looking beautifully, that game does things that takes the idea of a living world to another level, and the density and the realism and getting away from the uncanny valley stuff.
Right.
So that was my hope and expectation for this. And maybe in parts it's going to be that. Right. But in parts that they showed here, it just felt like, hey, this is our formula. This is how we've improved upon it. And to be fair, everything seems improved upon. We haven't really seen real combat, so I hope it's better. I don't want to see VATS. I want to see. I want to be able to shoot it normally and stuff like that. But that was my disappointment in it. That I expected more from it. But again, they know what they're doing within the constructs of the formulas that they've created, because they created a lot of this template. And I know I'm gonna enjoy it. It's just I just saw what
Starfield to be something. What Starfield to be, and I get it.
Exactly.
It went into their traditional formula and with a bigger scope. But I know where you're going. I know where the philosophy. That's a philosophy thing.
I'm gonna change I gave it a 6. I give it a 6. It's 7.5 to me, even closer to 8. Because I've been really just analyzing the stuff that they talked about and the fact that it is coming out within the next 12 months. There's a lot to look forward to. It's maybe not what I expected in a E3-esque show, but I can't front. Like there's a lot of cool stuff here.
So you're basically saying that if you had known it was 12 months only before the show, your initial reaction would have been a lot higher than a 6? Probably. If you had known that beforehand?
100%.
Because we would have had better expectations going into the show. That prediction show, it would have been set up different. It would have been like, look, like, this is a 12-month basic. Like,
in my mind, I didn't expect Avowed to be, people were speculating that Avowed could be a shadow drop this year. I didn't expect that.
Shout out to my brother Maddie.
I
was like, bro, that ain't happening.
I didn't expect that, but like to Addict's point,
love you,
they've had the bulk of these studios since 2017, 2018. Boxenberger said the same thing. Show me something. It has to be something.
No, I'm with you, because part of E3 is the Super Bowl, the pomp and circumstance, the wonder, the joy, and that's where I align with.
We just got the playoffs.
It's like, you just giving me the play. You just give me what's coming up this year, and I'm like, that
feels like, and it feels like when there's no sense of that competition that there's always been, there's no need to go above and beyond.
Right, and I think Boxenberger said it best. If you take out the 3 of those games that we kind of felt we knew about, the ESOs, the Sea of Thieves, and I forgot what the third one was, the Fallout 76, and you throw just maybe 1 or 2 even if it's like, remember when Avowed first got shown and they show the arrows and the thing and you're like, you see the spell, even if it's a CGI to say, okay, Compulsion's working on something. Okay, this one, or Avowed, something of one of the studios to get the wonder, okay, what are they doing? Because I think to Addict's frustration, right? When we know about 2018, we know they got all these. It's like, well, what is NXL doing? What is, if it wasn't for Randall Thor or Jess Gordon, we wouldn't know these code names. But the layman is like, how you, that is on the form, is like, how you bought all these studios, what are they doing? And I think they did need to give a little wonder. I don't want to spend too long because I know I didn't expect extended to go this long, but I wanted to get the actual extended showcase of that. Like, I wanted to get that part on. And as far as let's get with Rand, like, now that came out, what are your thoughts about it? How did you feel about the extended showcase specifically?
I thought the best thing from the extended showcase was the thing they showed of Stalker 2 and the devs and the whole Ukraine
that was
situation.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Other than that, extended showcase ain't for me. Like, I don't know. I just kind of lose all interest when people talk for long periods of time. So I know Valheim was announced for Xbox, which is pretty big. That was a pretty big PC game. Yeah. It's coming to PC and Xbox. Yeah. I'm struggling. Paris had a segment with Flight Sim when he was in. Yeah. I honestly don't even really remember. Like, when I think of the extended segment, I think of how they ended it with Stalker 2 and that like emotional video of what they're going through. Other than that, I'll be honest, like, I don't remember any of it.
No Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I felt like last year's extended was better.
Okay, man. That's where he's at with it. Boxenberger, sir, extended showcase thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. I love these insights and behind the scenes looks and the interviews. I do love it. And I appreciate that they don't pack that in the main show. Yes. They have a dedicated extended showcase where people like me that enjoy stuff like that can get these infos. And I actually thought a couple of games that really showed better in the extended showcase, like a Pentiment.
Yes.
A Pentiment was...
It got my confidence back. I was shaky.
But I really thought that it was a way better showing in the extended showcase when you got a little background as to what it's supposed to do. Or High on Life, everyone was on my reaction show after the first Xbox showcase, super excited for High on Life, and I said, didn't do much for me, but those devs were really funny guys.
Yeah.
And when we got a little insight on why these guns are talking and stuff,
and the level approach, how you can how you can attack the game from different levels depending on where you are with what guns you got, the progression, the way you get the progression and so much player choice. But continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. So I thought some of these games really showed better in the extended showcase. So yeah, I enjoyed that, and like Rand said, the ending was super strong.
Yes, I remember.
Like, yeah, it isn't easy for a big corporation to do something like that, to get all political and stuff. And I really have to applaud Microsoft for doing that. It was a very strong statement at the very end. Stalker 2 continues to look amazing. That intro sequence is fire. I can't wait. It was already one of my most anticipated games. Big fan of the OGs. So yeah. I thought this was a pretty good showing, yeah. So
no doubt.
I enjoyed it.
No doubt. Lord Addict extended showcase thoughts.
It was good. I like these extended shows because I feel like they can do what the previous.
That's not me.
All right. Oh, who's coming? They coming for Addict?
They coming for somebody.
They went from the BX to West.
Police sounds completely different, so it's not me.
I can't. Addict, you want to run?
I don't even hear anything.
All right, it's going now. Whatever. Good.
These shows are used for things that the main show can't do, like breakdowns and stuff like that. So it's got its place, but I do feel like the pacing to the extended show is kind of not there either. It's like, look, I don't think these shows are designed to have pacing either, but it's just like I got about 40. A couple announcements into it, I turned it off. So
not for you. No, fair enough. Fair enough. Lord Sub extended showcase, sir. Thoughts?
I think this extended showcase does what it's meant to do, which is give you an extended look of things that they showed in the main sort of presentation. I'd rather the things that they announced here, I would have rather just seen quickly at the big showcase. I think it just would have added value to that showcase, especially something like I talked about earlier, along with the Riot Games thing, is Valheim coming to Game Pass as a console exclusive. Valheim was like last January, not this year, the year before. Like Valheim was all the talk on the PC side. Obviously,
very big on PC. Yeah.
So obviously they kind of missed that, initial wave, right? They didn't have that, but I do think putting it on Game Pass, expanding that game out to another audience could kind of give it a research. I have not looked to see how Valheim is doing now, but I'm sure that the hardcore that love that game are continuing to love, play that game. Right. So just like the Riot stuff, it is another reason to sort of bring in the PC-centric cloud, even though this is a console thing. Obviously, my thoughts is that it's coming to PC Game Pass as well, but this is huge. Texas Chainsaw looked interesting. I love horror movies, so to see this and see what they kind of do with this, sure, I want to see it. I would have liked the quick sizzle reel of it at the main showcase. Beyond that, the Stalker 2 stuff was cool because it's it when you see devs taking up arms, and being like, hey, I got to handle this, and you look at that person and you have no idea if you'll, God forbid this person does not survive this, or you see a dev that lived in a hallway for months on end, continuing to figure out a work thing in the midst of all of this is kind of insane. But beyond that, I think it has its purpose. I'm glad that they've realized that talking to devs and stuff for long periods of time during the main showcase doesn't go over well. But I'm not the guy for this either. Like when I'm in on a game, I don't want to hear much more about it, no matter how excited I am about it. When I'm in, and I don't want to see much more. So it has its place. I think it does that well, but it isn't really for me.
No, fair enough. I'll jump in. I got too much. I just want to shout out Malik, Paris, and OT. I actually thought they did a really good job with the interviews. I liked Malik with Pete Hines specifically. I felt he asked very good questions. I felt I got some more information on Redfall. Again, I'm still excited about that. For me, there was some gets, obviously, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Valheim stuff, there's stuff that wasn't announced. There was Ara Untold?
Is that the RTS game?
Yeah.
Is that the RTS?
I felt this show better at the extended than the thing.
Absolutely.
I was mad at it at the
actual gameplay.
Yeah, because I'm like, you talk about gameplay, but this game showed up with no gameplay. And it sucks because I usually like the genre, and I love the actress, the voice actor they have for I forget her name. I think she's Iranian. She's amazing. She's in Destiny. She's one of my favorite characters. And I felt like, I know that's a game that should be a decent get for them, but I felt I learned more about it on the extended showcase. So to me, it could have been them.
Especially where they're coming from with the Civilization and XCOM guys.
So that appeals to me. So I was just like, okay, you should at least, whatever. It is what it is. But and I think that the standout is, I actually didn't mind it. Normally, I usually cringe with stuff like that. I felt I got a lot more information. I think even Playground was in the building for a little bit, giving us more about
that Hot Wheels,
that Hot Wheels look fire, bro. Yeah, so salute to them. I thought it was good. Paris did his thing. He's out there moving around the Smithsonian. You know what I'm saying? I was happy to see the people outside. So the show hit different for me, and I got to give Sarah Bonner credit. She got really emotional during the Stalker 2 thing. You know what I'm saying?
Game World announcement,
Yeah, that was really, and it hit home because, look, I know people like, I don't care about, the pandemic and the games, where the games, and it's like, bro, there's real life stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? And I think, to me, even sometimes I mess up. I'll be like, what's up with these games? Where it's at? And then it's like, dudes are fighting for their life. The studio had to get evacuated. You saw like before and after. So it's like when you look at the real life situations, you look at the pandemic that all studios are dealing with. I know people are like, just Xbox, but every major first party AAA from Sony got delayed at some point. Ratchet & Clank, Horizon Forbidden Forbidden West. Same thing with Nintendo. I'm still waiting for Breath of the Wild 2. It is real. We can't act like it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? The only difference between let me finish. The key is that I felt that with Xbox, and I know where you're going at it, that from whether you want to call it mismanagement or proper planning, I feel that when their delay happened with those two, there was not a contingency, so to speak, that they could fall back. And maybe Stalker was part of that, you know what I'm saying, even though it's a time exclusive, so to speak. But it just exposed the hole a little bit for 2022 from a first party perspective. But that's all I wanted. I just wanted to say, like, I think as gamers, we have to be a little bit conscious and cognizant of what's really going on in real life. But go ahead, Attic. I know you're going to jump in.
No, I was going to say the only difference between Microsoft and Sony is it seemed like Sony had a couple more games further in development than Microsoft did at that time. So, absolutely. And not to, I've been told firsthand that, like, the more people you have to go around, the harder it is to manage people in a situation like that too. So, you know, when you have a lot more studios that you have to constantly go back and forth between, it's going to be harder to keep everyone on the same page than, you know, the smaller amount of people that Sony has to manage right now. Because I mean, at this point, Microsoft's almost got double the studios that Sony has.
Yeah. No. I just think if we're not hearing rumblings of constant reboots and games possibly being canceled and stuff like that, which is what we were hearing a lot of, you know, sort of during the Xbox One generation. The fact we're not hearing about that sort of stuff behind the scenes and it is just delays, I just think the mismanagement sort of conversation is a little bit overblown. I to Addict's point and to Boxenberger's point, yes, there are a lot of studios and maybe they need to figure out a way to sort of keep the hand on the pulse of each studio a little more frequently, or just get the temperature of these studios more frequently. But I think if there was true mismanagement, we'd be hearing the same sorts of stories of, like, you know, cancellations, you know, this thing that they talked about is quietly canceled and stuff like that. We haven't heard that. And that may just be them learning, you know, to sort of handle PR better and not let that stuff out. Right. But I don't think that's necessarily the case. Like, even, you know, we've heard things about Avowed being rebooted once or twice in development. I haven't heard anybody come out and be like, oh, Avowed is in trouble. Right. It's just one of those things that happens during the course of development. And I think that's one of those things that I've become more sensitive to when I talk about this stuff, is just the fact that if you think about game development from the very beginning, it doesn't seem like there's any formula that you can go by from game to game to say, hey, this is going to bring me success. Right. Every game is a trash fire until it's not, and it doesn't even feel like the processes are necessarily the same. So it's like literally rebuilding the wheel every time you start a brand new game, because the challenges are going to be different. The atmosphere is going to be different. It's just, everything is different. So I've just gotten accustomed to the fact that everything is going to be delayed. Sometimes we'll hear about it, sometimes we won't, and which will give us the impression that the game never had any issues during development, which is never the case. Right. And that's just kind of the mentality I carry into when I talk about this stuff now. It's just like, man, everything is a trash fire until we get the final product, and that's it. And that's kind of the way I think about it.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, so say, like, the whole mismanagement thing is only going to go away once Xbox starts releasing all these titles and they're good.
And they're good.
Proof's in the pudding. However, the one thing nobody really mentioned about this whole 12-month thing is, are we sure these games are going to release in this 12-month period?
Yeah, what if they missed the window?
Yeah, I think some of them are definitely pushing past that 12 months.
Especially considering that all the exciting games we're looking forward to are more at the back end of these 12 months.
They're gonna hear it if that's the case.
You know, like, who's to say Starfield doesn't need more time? And it's like, hey, Starfield's coming out in 11/11/2023, right? Like, you're setting expectations now that all these games are 2023, and I know they have, you know, the asterisk and the fine print that's like, you know, release dates may change or whatever. But I mean, you came out there saying it with your chest. This is what you're playing on Xbox in the next year. And maybe they all hit, maybe a couple slip. Like we just don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why it behooves them.
That's
not.
a really good point. That's a good point because we didn't get a lot of dates even within that 12
That's
months.
why it behooves them not to put dates. I think that's the lesson learned. Go ahead,
to be honest with you, not putting dates or putting dates, it doesn't really matter at this point. You said in a 12-month ratio, if those games get pushed out of that 12 months, which I think there's a good chance Starfield does. If it does get pushed out of that 12 months, it doesn't even matter you didn't put that release date on there because people will be like, why are we having another E3 and Starfield still ain't out? So it's just like they're going to have to hit that. And if the game comes out and buggy, they're going to get that business for the same stuff. Like, that's part of the issue. Like when you're in this type of business, because these Twitter is not a safe haven for a lot of these places. So
look, I hear what you're saying, Rand. And as far as the 12-month thing, I think that I'm still going to stand on. I think that's the lesson learned. You give them as much time as they possibly need, and you don't put your chest out.
I mean,
with a date. Unless you go hit it. Yeah.
Todd basically said last week during that the press event that they're putting the finishing touches on Starfield.
Yeah, Todd also said.
I mean,
they're doing that last time.
I know. I'm just saying. What? Okay, so what do we think? Which game's coming out first, Redfall or Starfield?
Redfall.
Redfall. Okay, yeah. We all think.
I don't think Starfield comes out till like August, September of next year.
Oh
really?
wow!
I think.
Oh wow!
Ooh, I think Well, here's the thing. I remember going to Cog to this too, and I'd be like, and Cog's like, it's locked. It's 100%.
Damn, stop that.
Jez was like,
Jez said that.
Jez was like, I'd be like, I don't know. I think Starfield is the one. Well, I'm not going to say a lock, but I think it comes out in the fiscal year. Their fiscal year ends at the end of June. I think they desperately want these games all to hit before
they desperately wanted that game to hit 2022 too, and it didn't happen. So.
Well, but the thing is though, like, I don't know if that necessarily matters too much because that's still within the same fiscal year,
right? To
them at least, right?
Yeah.
But Kaga, I think the question has to be asked.
Let's go.
What's up with Halo Infinite, bro? Didn't show up at that or the extended. You had Sea of Thieves, you had Fallout 76, you had Elder Scrolls Online. Their biggest game, Halo Infinite, no shows.
Now, if you want to talk about potential mismanagement, see, this is the thing, and I see the mismanagement talk about Xbox as a whole. To me, there is one offender. There is one of these kids that part of the children have been not making their homework assignments on time. It's consistently shown that. And I love Halo Infinite as the game. The core of its game is fun. The gameplay is great. You know what I mean? No one's saying the game is bad. It's just
I haven't seen anyone.
I've never seen a live service game not have service available live. I just like that. That's the problem. Like you, I don't know what happened. Did you go everything was just to get across the finish line, and now it's like let's play catch up, because that's the problem. And to me, it's indicative. If it's not there, listen, I'm happy. Take as much time as you need because clearly you're not ready, right? So to me, if it's not there, that I have to internalize it. I'm going to have to guess that you still need more time for Project Tatanka and the Battle Royale. You still need more time for the co-op. You still need more time, which I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is unacceptable in my opinion. I've always been on delay Halo until it is ready. I never was on that bring it out, just because it's the 20th anniversary and we need it. Forza Horizon was doing fine by itself in that holiday window. I'm going to die on that sword. And a lot of Halo fans are mad at me. No, Cog, it needs to come out. Are you happy now? Are you happy with the level of content you're receiving right now? I do this live service stuff. I play the live service games. I know how it goes. You got to have content. And on top of it, it's free to play. So if you're free to play and you still, you're doing well on Xbox. But the Steam numbers, you can't say that they did not envision a way bigger engagement and player base. So yeah, they did that to themselves. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's unfortunate because of what's happened at 343. I'm not going to say, obviously Undead Labs and Initiative. Those to me, I don't say problem children, but those are the people, what three that I think people look under the microscope the most when the mismanagement talk, and I can't dispute those three. I can't sit there and say, yo, no, it's definitely not, because I have to go by what we see, right? But in fairness, I want also people to say, this is why I don't get on the mismanagement train, because we're not talking about Obsidian. We don't talk about Playground holding it down. We don't talk about Coalition holding it down. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Xbox Game Studio that's doing just fine and doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's going on with them? But to your question, yeah, I think it is disappointing with 343 in the Halo Infinite situation. I'm surprised that they weren't there. So,
I think the free-to-play thing, and I said this from the beginning before this game came out, I'm like, they are turning Halo into something that it's not. It has or it hasn't been before. And looking at what Bungie's gone through, looking at things that have happened with Anthem, the Division, we've seen the blueprint of what works and what doesn't work. And it feels like this is the aspiration they had for Halo multiplayer, and they weren't prepared for the amount of work and the amount of manpower required to keep up that cadence.
And the delay and the other thing. And here's the thing, and I've done this live service. Here's the thing, in fairness to them, because shout out to my man who's there. I am like, that's Capcom. You played Destiny. Absolutely. I've played Destiny 1. And in fairness to Halo Infinite, this is what I will say about how the live service thing go. They dropped Tatanka, which is the Battle Royal. They dropped the co-op. They dropped the Forge, and it looks good, plays good. You got a good trailer. All is forget. Live service, people come back. That's the thing. It's ebbs and flows. You know what I'm saying? Halo, Destiny had the problem in the beginning. It launched. It did have content, though. That's the difference. Destiny had content. They had a raid. They had the Vault of Glass. They had expansions. So it's not a one-on-one. Destiny had content. It's just the narrative was where the narrative was. But, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, these guys got to drop content. And if it's good content, people will come back. My thing is, it didn't need to be this way. You didn't need to put you. This is self-inflicted in a way. Just push it back. Good.
I'm actually in the mindset that they might have killed the Halo franchise trying to turn it into a free-to-play.
We'll see. It's up to them.
Damn.
It's up to them.
It's just that team was not built for that. And
that's what I'm saying. I don't think 343 it has the expertise and the output that is needed to deliver a free to play Halo.
Like if you look at Epic, Epic is all hands on deck on Fortnite, and they shut everything else down.
One game.
Yeah. It's valid. Listen, anybody who says that, I cannot fight, dispute. Hey, we have a track record. We have a track record, right? That's all I'm saying. We gotta be honest. We gotta see.
We're gonna have to see what happens when they put that battle royale.
Yeah,
that might breathe a lot of life.
I will say this: it's kind of like this. It's like when you get that hot trailer, you see 60 Spartans dropping down. You know what I'm saying? Battle royale. You gonna see Rand like, yo, battle royale with the crew. He gonna grab up Gopher. He gonna grab up his people. And if it's fire, gamers will forget. If it shows well, gamers are going to be, okay, Halo's back. Here we go. I just want the overall health of Halo to stay strong. Because to me, this was supposed, like, imagine if it was delayed. Last part, I know we're going long. Let's say it came out at the top first quarter 2022. That would have helped a little bit with this year. And you had content.
I don't think it would have helped much.
I'm just saying, if you had content, steady content, and it was ready and rocking, it would have helped a little with this gap of 2022 first party. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
I mean, what have they realistically released in that little gap between release dates? Like, they haven't really done much at all.
I'm saying, what if they had the time, and that would have afforded them the time to drop a co-op, a Forge, and a Battle Royale mode, and it's like, yo, look at all this content Halo got. But
at least
but we still haven't got. I mean, we're probably still 3 to 6 months away from all of that stuff. So I still think we'd still be the exact same situation. Like,
delay it till it's ready.
Anyway, which would be like January 2024.
Listen, man, we'll see. I'm pulling for them. I want
they will launch it right in between Starfield.
It could have took Starfield. There you go, Addict. It could have been a Starfield spot.
I know a little bit. I know a little bit information when it comes to the 343 stuff. That there was a lot of variables that led to the way it did. There wasn't just one or two. There was a lot.
As much as I'm talking, I still think the game is a great game. I wouldn't go this hard for it. Anyway, let's move on. So let's get to super chats and then we got to move on.
Okay, cool. We got a bunch. So let me scroll back a little bit.
No doubt,
Just
no
remember
doubt.
the last one that I got is Brett Bingham. So that's the last one that I have.
All right, cool. Salute everybody in the chat doing what they do.
Make sure you guys hit the like button for the Lords. Come on.
Thank you. Yeah, hit that like, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the Lord's Day
It's
for
free.
the Father.
It's easy.
Free.
One of the best podcasts out there. One of the best Xbox podcasts.
Don't say that loud.
Yeah, don't say that
I
loud.
don't know if Sal heard me.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about,
I don't know
right?
what you're talking about. Switch is coming in hot, though. You ever seen them MPDs, y'all?
All right, I'm ready to rock.
All right, let's do it.
We got Ryan, $2 super chat. Ayo King got that Crocs link.
Oh,
People
Lord.
on the Crocs train.
Is King not showing up today at all?
He said he's going to try to pop in.
We'll see. We got Dodo Taku, $5 super chat. It's not really a new concept. Nintendo's always announced things that are within a year in their directs. Yes, but oftentimes for Nintendo, a lot of stuff is super secretive. Like they don't let stuff out of the treehouse. Like so.
And we got to be realistic with Nintendo too. They make great games, but like I would say the difference between their games and something like Starfield and God of War. It's huge difference. Like, you know, I look at something like the Pokemon games and like Kirby. Those games take a long time to develop, but I don't think they have to jump through nearly as the hoops as something like a Starfield.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, 1 second. Then we got Murky with the 35. Actually, these are called rands. South African rands. Shout out to Rand. Murky, $35. Here all the way from South Africa, and I'm a bit late on this one, but what about the classic Capcom arcade piece Cadillacs and Dinosaurs? Did you guys play that?
I'm good.
I know what it
Played
is.
it.
I don't think I ever played it though.
I played it. It's a real pretty game. It's back, you know, I think this system 2 sort of Capcom stuff. Beautiful, but it wasn't an IP that I knew. We got Necromancer Zale, remember, for 8
the
months.
difference between a Nintendo game and an Xbox game is probably $200 million.
Wow.
Slander.
We got this showcase was for everyone, an all-around showcase for the next 12 months. Their next showcase later on will be showcasing their future games and gameplay trailers for 2023. That is a hope. And we have Bay Area, $5 super chat. Happy Father's Day to all the real ones out there. Great show. Hit that like button. Thank you, sir.
Hit that like button, y'all. Save the children. Every time you hit the like, save the child. Continue.
We got Rob the Don, 202, $2 super chat. Let's get those likes up. Thank you. Yeah, hit them likes,
like,
people.
y'all. 700 of y'all, man. Come on now. Father's Day for the fathers.
Not for the babies today, for the fathers.
It's for the fathers, man. Come on.
K Johnson, member for 5 months. Thank you, sir. Back with some awesome guests, loving ILP, Rand Al Tomato. 2023 is the year of the cams being. 2023 is the year of the cams being on. Loving the show.
Oh, Randall K. How many subs you need to get you on camera?
200,000.
Oh, come on! I thought it was 100. You keep moving the goalposts.
Chill.
Well, it's like the haters of Xbox. Like just keep on moving the goalposts.
Oh,
He's gonna move it.
damn.
He's like, I'm the man with the million. I need 1 million subs. That's it.
What else we got?
We have Rob the Don again, $10 super chat. Let's hold on. If the games aren't ready and they show a second CGI or choppy trailer, this will ruin the game more than not showing it. So the best thing is to let people's imagination run.
Okay.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing to imagine. There wasn't no announcements.
And we have Hard to Find, member for 14 months. Thank you, sir. Shout out to my guys as always. Much love. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Yes, hit that like.
Salute. That's all I get. Salute.
Then we have Luna Smoke Zim with the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Then we got Flame, member for 21 months.
Flame lost Gabe in the building.
My favorite reveal at the Xbox Showcase was the return of Wait for E3 2023.
Oh, that's messy. Don't act like there wasn't no games for you, Flame. That's messy.
Really got me hyped. Have a great show, gentlemen. Flame, as always. As his name indicates, is dropping fire.
Exactly.
Then we got Slow-Mo Backslap, $5 super chat. Xbox needs to retool Inside Xbox as a quarterly show that provides reveals of first-party games and updates on the development of anticipated games. Yeah, that would definitely work.
Yeah.
And we got Luna Smoke Zim once again, $10 super chat. AAA games are just not ready for anyone. What does Sony, Nintendo, Ubisoft, Capcom, Take-Two, or EA have for the AAA 2022? GT7, God of War, and Horizon are all last-gen games deep into development before the pandemic. That's true.
Okay.
We got Necromancer Zale once again, $5 super chat. I've seen stories on new Halo Infinite campaign story content isn't coming out until 2025. Is that what you're hearing? Jesus.
I mean, I don't know.
Can you confirm?
I have no idea. Maybe what they should do is just can the 10-year plan and just release a new Halo game in 5 years.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. What else we got, Saul?
All right. THX 1138, $5 super chat. Obsidian is able to develop game ideas under Microsoft that no way any other publishers will never greenlight. We get to see more games from the studio. That's for sure. 100%.
Yep. And they get to exist.
They get to exist because of that bag. And we got Pragmatic Eagle, $10 super chat. People like to poop on games that hit 20 plus million players, then don't buy the one game they cap so hard for as indicated by the sales, engagement numbers, etc. It's hella weird to me. Just play games. That goes to show you that Twitter isn't a real place, and a lot of people just like to talk for the sake of talking.
Twitter's an echo chamber. Do not look. Yeah, I agree what he said, because a lot of people, like, even though we may say that's not for me, some of those franchises that they did pick up are tremendous player bases and huge engagement in especially specific regions. But I agree with that.
Which is the reason why Sea of Thieves is at the show every year, because
exactly.
And they just 30 million people, so it's constantly meeting new people. So of course it's going to be there. It's just like that Fallout, that Elder Scrolls Online, though. It's like
I feel you. Yeah, I
at least Rare puts. I mean, the trailers Rare make are really good.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a good point. Continue.
Yeah. Rob the Don, 202, $10 super chat. I'm sorry we knew they was in trouble when they moved Starfield and Redfall. People was hoping that they would move something up or show the future. They didn't. Now people don't have ammo for the console.
You know what?
Guns. Yeah.
That's 100% true. A lot of it is list wars.
Yes.
A lot of it is, oh man, the PlayStation guys are going to clown me.
Yep.
For the next year, so there is an element to that.
Exactly. Just be prepared for that clowning if God of War comes out this year and it comes out on 11/11/2022. Just be ready.
More fuel for the games.
More fuel for the fire.
A lot of game warfare.
Right. God of War ain't coming out.
Oh, Attic with the exclusive.
Even though Cory Balrog came back to Twitter. He come back to Twitter.
Oh, he come back to Twitter. Whoop-de-doo. I'm so sick of like we almost in July. July.
Trying to save you for the PlayStation Nation.
PlayStation Nation can go somewhere with that.
Oh, he ready for the smoke.
Corey ain't showed me God of War's build.
He ain't show you the build. We get that emoji on. We getting the show me the build emoji. That's Addict's hot J right there. Salute.
Yeah, man.
Cory Balrog did show a mouse next to that.
Got a mouse
PS5
that connected. Could be connected to a build, Addict.
Yeah. No, I hope I'm wrong. But
Steam build.
Look, at the end of the day, they haven't showed me anything to make me think this game's coming out this year. And I want it to come out this year. This year looking dry. I need some God of War in my life.
Show us the build, Addict. I feel that.
There we have Pragmatic Eagle member for 32 months. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Wow. Thank you.
On a positive note, I'm glad all the discourse is positive and intellectual. Salute to ILP, of course. It's like going down here.
We got to keep it intellectual.
And we got Rob the Don 202, $5 super chat. Plus, sorry to be morbid, but why worry about 4 to 5 years in the future when I might not be here? Give stuff I can play now. That's fair. That's fair.
Yo, what have you done for me lately? Where's that?
Exactly. Where's that? Exactly. Then we got Splendiferous, $2 super chat. I said it. Sav had to take that knee, boy. Was waiting. I don't know when you said this, but okay, that's fine.
Salute.
I want to see the 150 plus hour gameplay of when you play Persona 5, because you're not gonna play it. Then we have Dorian Gray, $5 super chat. One downside to the Bethesda acquisition is these people who never touched the BGS game coming in demanding stuff BGS never did, and we fans never wanted. See, this is the thing that I have with fans of stuff, right? And then I'm just not that type of game player. People just want what they want, and I respect that. I appreciate that. But oftentimes, wanting what you want is not wanting the thing that you love to evolve and change.
Oh, don't start. You're gonna piss Attic off. This is gonna be an argument.
But you just want it. You want it crisper, prettier, running better, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean?
Lord, this is gonna be an argument between you and Attic, and I'm not ready for this.
I'm not wrong.
Oh God,
Attic would agree with me.
I mean, if anything, I would say that that mentality is actually what killed Final Fantasy. They wanted it to look better. They wanted to change the mechanics of
on Addict and Solve on the variation of sequels.
No, I'm agreeing with.
Oh, okay, go. With time, let's move on. I don't want it to go left, but y'all too. Continue.
No, it's not gonna go left. No, let me seriously. No, Taco, $5 in the chat. Every game got hit by COVID, but Xbox started from basically nothing in 2018, while Nintendo and Sony were already in a good state at that point.
Interesting. Yeah. Got to get draft picks. Got to get the farm up.
Yeah. And we got Beats Games Life #Zim804. Shout out to you, sir. $5 super chat. It's mismanagement. Has there ever been a console in history to launch with no first-party games? Phil, Matt Booty been dropping the ball for a while.
All I will say, I hear what he's saying on 2020, and it's a bad look, and I feel that.
I mean, I don't even think it's 2022. Like, besides,
talk about the console launch.
We ain't gonna act like 2021. We ain't gonna act like 2021 ain't happened, and they just win Metacritic Publisher of the Year.
Besides Flight Simulator,
which is
haven't
massive.
had even a Series X exclusive at all.
Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5,
Xbox One.
Oh, you're talking about? But they've already told you that they weren't doing that ahead of time. They told you that it was going to be crossplay. So that
I don't hold their feet to that fire. Like, that doesn't. I just to me, I mean, 2020 they launched the console in the middle of a pandemic. And the thing about it is, when you think about mismanagement, again, they can't. What if they did have the hand on the pulse and were more had of an iron grip on these studios during the process, right? Does that mean that the game would have come out before? It doesn't necessarily mean that either. It means that they would have known. Exactly. So it's one of those things. Is like, as a manager, you still are sort of beholden to the work that's being done. And if the games weren't ready, they just weren't ready. And no amount of twisting people's arms was going to get the games ready in a state that would have been satisfactory for gamers anyway. So it is one of those things. It's like, man,
to me, it's all they got to take the L on 2022. It's not about excuses. They just got to take the L. They didn't have whatever happened.
When
the game wasn't ready, and I get it. Nobody wants to hear it.
Whatever happened. What do you mean? Starfield and Redfall weren't ready. We know what happened.
Yeah, we know. But it's like,
know what happened.
This
idea that their internal structure is just broken, and I don't know, man.
I mean, I said what you're seeing is the consequence of Microsoft's late investment in Xbox.
Yep.
Right. And they have a lot of internal studios. They go buy some, but they buy these studios that already have games that they're working on. Like Enix we got to do Wasteland 3, which they had put out in 2019. So they can't start working on anything new. You know, Ninja Theory is working on Bleeding Edge. Obsidian's already doing some of these things. Like, a lot of their studios that they acquired already had previously scheduled arrangements. I mean, even Bethesda themselves had Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, caught up with PlayStation. And then what happens? Nobody could predict. The global pandemic happened. So now all your games essentially get pushed almost a year, right? So like Avowed and all these titles that were probably internally scheduled for 2022 all suddenly are now 2023 and later. And you're left with the situation where you didn't really have a lot of stuff. You could have held things from 2020 because 2020 had Ori and Tell Me Why and a few other games that they really dropped in the summer, just like before the console launch. They could have held. They decided not to. So you launch with Gears Tactics, right? Halo gets delayed. Psychonauts gets delayed. So 2021 looks better. Otherwise, it would have just been Forza. Bethesda was kind of the band-aid that we'll get some 2022 games, and then those get delayed, and you don't have anything because the games that were supposed to come were all delayed. So it's just, it's basically, and to me, it's just, if Xbox had waited so long to do all this stuff, and it finally caught up with them. It finally bit them in the ass. So now, as Boxenberger likes to say, like, Boxenberger's like, there's no first-party games this year, even though there are two. You know, As Dust Falls, which is a global publishing game, they consider it first party, and Pentiment, right? There's nothing on a AAA scale. Right. It just all caught up with everything just caught up with them,
and probably Deathloop, right?
And Deathloop.
At the end of the day, people who say that there's mismanagement at Microsoft, like Microsoft's just gonna have to take that criticism until they prove that there's not, because there's been enough to actually feel like there is mismanagement, and there's nothing on the other side saying there's not.
I just told you stuff on the other side that's saying it's not. It's multiple examples of it not being. They just came off of 2021 where they published a year. Whether people don't like hardcore gamers don't specifically like Flight Sim or Age of Empires or Forza Horizon or Halo Infinite, that's on them. But we can't say they didn't exist. Now this year, I ain't making no excuses for it. I'm with you on this.
To be fair, though, the past 6 months, there's probably 3 or 4 articles that's giving one for everyone that you're giving.
What you mean? What's the article that said that they were
the labs thing, the initiative thing?
But what was the article that said that they were not the publisher of the year in 2021? That they had they had more games than Sony that year.
I'm not arguing about that. I was saying that there's plenty of articles of stuff that is showing that there might be some mismanagement in certain studios.
There's the initiative, the Undead Lab situation, and 343. And I can give you Playground Games, Obsidian, Turn 10, you know what I'm saying? And they still got more games coming.
I mean, I don't think no one's ever said all of Microsoft and Xbox.
But that's the thing that I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm just saying the perception. We have to be honest with the rest of the studios as a whole. And that's what I think is not being fair. Now, if you want to say, hey, what are the new studios doing? I'm with you, right? Because I think that's what the issue is. I think the issue is the new guys. Hey, what's going on? And because they did this 12-month format, right? And now we don't see what the new guys are doing for the most part still, then it's going to be, it's on them whether or not they want to show that or not. And I get that.
Even if you look at from like standpoint now, Jason Schreier just said on Reddit that Avowed has been restructured, so don't expect to see it anytime soon. Like there's stuff there.
Okay, but that means Obsidian didn't give us Outer Worlds. They didn't show us Outer Worlds 2. They didn't show us Pentiment. They didn't release Grounded this year.
Mismanagement has to be like the whole studio.
So mismanagement is one game gets delayed, then this whole studio is mismanagement. Then that's what you're saying. If one game gets delayed,
you can mismanage one project under a studio.
Okay, so that means the whole studio is mismanaged out of all that. Okay, so then I don't understand why the Avowed thing is coming up when we're ignoring the other things.
All I was saying that I can understand why people would
No, I get it. And it's up to them, like Rand said, to make quality games and show well. That's on them. And then the perception goes away. But until then people are going to say what the stuff that you're bringing up.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this stuff and speculate about it, but at the end of the day, it's like Rand said, the proof's in the pudding, and people only care about the end product, and they don't really care how it gets there. So, you know, and that's, I mean, I guess it's fair. As a consumer, it's fair. You only care about the end product, but we're kind of not necessarily regular consumers. Hold on a second.
What else we got?
Give me a moment. I started copy pasting a few more. Okay, let me run back.
There we go. What was the last one you read? Because I think I got. We got a bunch.
For the podcast, you do. Hold on a second. I'm not on Twitter.
I see.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Rob the Don, $2 super chat. $5 super chat. Excuse me. The only thing that might miss is Starfield. Stop it. Turn 10, Arcane, and Mojang are good. I mean,
Turn 10 is the only one with the window, spring 2023.
Yeah.
So who knows what the other ones?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but then everybody thought Turn 10 and Forza Motorsport was supposed to be this year.
Exactly.
So you know,
we got Gamer by Choice member for 32 months. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I am not on Twitter, and I seem to enjoy my gaming more because of it. Amen. There's so much negativity and irrational stuff happening there. I love all the games I play on Xbox. Great show. Right. Thank you, sir. Go Donald Taku, $5 super chat. Halo has been doing their own shows and updates, though. As long as Forge is still September, it'll be fine from then on. That's the hope. David Castellanos, $5 super chat. Love the podcast. Keep doing big things. Thank you, sir.
No doubt.
And we got Mr. Irishman, £2 super chat. I think Halo's building to a soft relaunch. Ooh, damn. Brett Bingham, $10 super chat. If Halo Wars 3 gets greenlit, which studio do you think will take it on? Relic, Creative Assembly, World's Edge, or Blizzard? Who would you choose to develop it? Damn. Addict, COG.
Who would I choose to develop it?
Coalition, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say Coalition.
Okay.
After Gears Tactics. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
No doubt.
JD Gamer, $10 super chat. Let's start this off right. FF7 isn't coming to Xbox until it can land in Game Pass, and it's going to cost Microsoft a grip to do it. So I predict if it ever happens, it won't be until 2025. What say you all? I think if it happens, it doesn't happen until all 3 parts of that game are out on PlayStation. So yeah, 2020, 2030 sounds about right. I don't know.
No doubt.
It's Doctor, £10 super chat. I like this year's show because it had actual gameplay. My disappointment kicked in, however, when I realized that we'll probably have to wait a whole year to get updates on Avowed, etc. That's true. Then we got Hollywood Rules, $10 super chat. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. So smash the like button. Another great ILP Sunday. Last week, boom. This week, Rand. That's great. Rand the Great. Rand the Great. Thought they should have said the showcase was going to be locked into 12 months, a 12-month span prior. Yes, I think that would have helped a little bit. Then we got Gaming Forte. Remember, for 31 months. Happy Father's Day, Lords. Show was okay, but just a huge reminder of everything not coming in 2023. And as always, wait, no King. I'll wait till next week.
Shout out to the King. He's supposed to come through. I don't know what happened.
He's chilling under a palm tree somewhere. That's
Crocs.
what he's doing. The Crocs did him in.
He's with his Crocs.
They ate his feet.
Damn, Crocs. He got some stuff up.
We got Spartan Goat 17, £2 super chat. Halo in absolute shambles. Gotta axe Infinite, bro. Whoa, wow. Damn.
They wanted axed. Okay.
JD Gamer, $5 super chat. Side note, what Japanese publisher is Xbox going to purchase to combat its lack of Japanese game stigma as soon as Activision Blizzard King closes? Sega, Koei Tecmo. We'll see. I don't know about necessarily acquisitions, but we got Spartan Ghost 17 again, £2 super chat. Xbox got us in the desert like it's the Bible days. Shaking my Then we got Necromancer Zale, $5 super chat. Which is the best advanced GG hydration flavor? This is for COG.
Oh, okay. So we want the best. I would go with the sour for the Focus, even though I got the sour with me right now. The Focus, that's your game joint. But I would say the energy, I ain't gonna front. That Dream Team Punch, man, it's fire. Go hit that. The link's at the top of the description. Get that 20% off for all the days right now. Go get that.
COG
powder.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Then we got Donald Taco, $10 super chat. Can we stop moving goalposts? No Series X exclusives. Flight Sim don't count. No first-party games in 2022. Pentiment and Grounded don't count. No first-party launch games. Gears Tactics don't count. Get it.
They don't count. Okay. We good? We all good?
But everybody defines things differently. No, a couple more. We got Mexican Zoidberg, member for 18 months. Y'all are tripping. Saab bet his knees on the next mainline Persona game coming day and date to Game Pass. Give this man his knees back. I didn't bet that it was coming. When did I bet? No, I bet it's not coming day and date. I still think that Persona 6 day one ain't happening, but we'll see. Maybe Phil dropped off an extra little bag, just for that, Let me see what else. I got jumped a little bit. Let me roll back a little bit.
Oh, hold on. Shout out before you gotta shout out the legend, Tom. Man, this became a member. Wow. Salute, Tom. And I didn't know you were still here. Yo, appreciate it, man. Thank you for being here. And I do want to say this because I did see this in the chat. And I think there's a confusion. Like, we all are gonna agree to disagree sometimes, and it's okay. There's a difference between agreeing to disagree and someone saying it's disrespectful just because you disagree. Me and Addict will always have a disagreement all the time. Same thing with me and Solve. We went at it with the whole Sega thing. Same thing with me and Rand, you know what I'm saying, about the state of Xbox, and I'm like, yo, it's all lit. And then he's like, I don't know, COG. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? That's just natural discourse. We have to be in a position where we can say things and be on the other side of it. As long as it doesn't personalize it, it's all good. So I just wanted to clarify that. That's what discourse is. Doesn't mean it's disrespectful.
What strikes up a good conversation?
That's what strikes up a good conversation. Doesn't mean, yo, he feel this, I feel that. You're disrespectful. Yeah. No, that's not how it works. It's just how he feels that. And then there's times, yo, Addict, me and you've had this conversation where me and you've said, yo, I feel this. You be like, yo, I feel this. And having I come to you, I'm like, yo, Addict, you was right, bro. I got that one wrong. And likewise, that's all it is. But I see this thing that if I know it's only if it's me and you. If me and you disagree,
they think it's gonna blow up.
Yeah, like they think it's real. Like we not gonna talk to each other. Nah, bro, we do this like 5 times a day. This is what me and Addict do. That's why I love him. Like,
and it's funny because it kind of only you guys that still kind of keep that energy. We gotta anybody who's new to the show.
Yeah.
This is the energy we have when we were growing up all the time.
And this is the light version.
Broke up.
Bro,
this fights, they broke up.
Exactly. Like, if this is disrespectful, y'all don't want to know what we was doing back in the day.
Mind you, to reiterate, when we were 15, fist fights broke out.
That's a long time ago. Let's not bring about the past. We've moved forward.
Yeah, I wish Jez was here because Jez thought it was the best Xbox show ever.
Exactly. And people
be interesting to hear his thoughts about it.
And Red, what was your feeling on that? Because I know you were on the opposite side. That's your brother.
I knew it was because it's a Blizzard showcase and he's a Blizzard fanboy.
Exactly.
Right? So it was just, and he got his Starfield and his Diablo and his Overwatch. Mm-hmm. Like, of course he was going to love it. So, it's always different perspectives are a good thing. It's sometimes when everybody agrees, it can be a tad bit boring.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I love it because I love when Addict challenge me. I love when everybody challenges and vice versa. That's what makes us learn and better people. You got to have that discourse. Let's continue.
Spartan Goes 17, £2 super chat. People disappointed because fake insiders keep.
Yo, you coming for? I'm just.
I mean, I'm not an insider. Tom Henderson is.
We're gonna talk about this next topic.
Not me.
And we got Rob Nadal, $5 super chat. There can still be third-party AAA deals this year, and those of us who waited, Deathloop will still drop. Yeah, more than likely, and there could be other stuff. We talked about what we call Evil West, a possibility. We talked about the possibility of Arkham Knights. So we'll see.
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights, not Arkham Knights. I don't want an Arkham Knight game. Let me see what else we have here. Tom Henderson. This is what. Thank you, sir. Put the crust in the chat for Tom Henderson. Then we see. Then we have Lord Metroid, $2 super chat. King playing Skyward Sword in some dark cave at the moment.
With the Crocs. Continue.
With the Crocs on, exactly. Then we have Lucas Fox, $5 super chat. People forget that Ninja Theory made Hellblade at a AAA quality bar with a team of 15 people. Sleep on Hellblade 2 at your own risk. I mean, nobody's been sleeping on Hellblade 2. It's like this comment came out of the blue, like, stop beefing with Hellblade 2. It's gonna be hot.
No doubt.
Oh, let me see. That's it. We're caught up.
All right, finally. Addict, this is your topic. This is the hot one. What's going on with Final Fantasy, man? Something happened? Was there a show?
Yeah, they had pretty much they had their own version where they're going over information on Final Fantasy. And they ended it with the next installment to the Final Fantasy 7 Remake franchise, which is Final Fantasy Rebirth. It's kind of interesting. This wasn't at a Sony show. I felt like this would have been a good Sony show. It's not. It's like Sony's not gonna have a show this year or something. Like, so first off, Crisis Core was announced and it is coming to the Xbox platform. But Rebirth was announced, and not only is Remake not coming, that's not coming either. So it does look like Microsoft is not getting the pretty much any Final Fantasy game besides a PSP game.
Getting that Crisis Core.
So I wanted you guys' opinion on this because I have my own resolved opinion, but I wanted to see what you guys.
You dropped 2 videos about this. You know what I'm saying? In reference to Xbox in Japan. This is a hot one. I want to start with Red Outdoor 19 because he got the whole community in a tizzy.
No, I did not.
Red Outdoor 19 is to blame. So let's put him, fans, let's put him in the middle of the
lies and slander against my name right now.
Red Outdoor 19, come to the front of the congregation. You got the Xbox community.
You did state that multiple times.
Did he say it was a lock? Addict, did he say it was a lock?
I don't think he said it was a lock, but you said it on multiple different occasions.
I said it on one occasion,
let's
sir.
For the record
you said it on Defining Dude.
Yes.
You said it on,
and he said ILP.
Xbox 2.
Yes.
You didn't say it on Xbox 2?
Yes, he did.
I did.
Three.
I
That's
did.
three.
So that's more than one.
Well, that's that's when I got slothed.
And Idle Sloth put the tweet out. The communities and Red Outdoor said, not only is it coming to Xbox, he said it's day and date in Game Pass. So everybody, they was like, yo, if Red said it, it's going down. So let's go. Red out in the news is out. Like, where are we at?
Just say you misread the paper. You meant to say Persona. Just say you misread the paper.
Look,
I mean, Rand, I can't see you, but you seem a little shorter than you were a week ago.
Oh, his knees. his knees.
I didn't bet nobody knees, though.
He said it was
knees. Rand understands the concept of knees. Thank you, Rand. I appreciate that.
Listen,
Let's
I don't
go.
know how many times
Yes.
I have to say this, but even when I made that prediction, I literally said, this isn't a quote-unquote prediction of mine. I am just doing this for fun.
Oh, it was for fun.
For fun.
Oh, I didn't get that memo.
I didn't know. I don't know how many times I had to put it out there. I said, I don't know anything about this show.
It was for
I don't know
funsies.
anything. It was supposed to be a bold prediction. Maddie was like, give me a bold prediction. And I was like, all right, Final Fantasy's finally coming. Was that bold enough for you, right?
That's true.
So I went with it on Xbox too, because people would listen to Finding Duke. And I'm like, listen, not only is Final Fantasy coming, it's coming in Game Pass, and it's going to self-launch, which it kind of did on Steam. But I was just like, don't read anything into this because I just literally made it up on the spot. But of course, people are like, oh my God, he ate shit or whatever. And it's like, listen, that's not true. You know, it's funny is that as soon as I did that, I get a DM from my buddy and it's like, yeah, you know, good, nice prediction, but you're going to be wrong because it's not in development for Xbox and it's only being announced for Steam. So the following week, Attic, if you listened, I walked that prediction back and I said, listen, it ain't happening. You know, so you know, tell me you don't listen to Xbox 2 without telling me you don't listen to Xbox 2.
Oh, I mean, until I'm invited to that show, I'm boycotting.
Oh, I like that.
Oh damn. Okay.
He ain't get
it's like what? I hit you up. What? It was a super chat like a year and a half ago. You're like, Addict, don't worry, I got you on the net. There's been 3 sets of people on there since this.
That's not true. We barely ever have any guests on
Fraud alert or ran out door for not following through with Addict. Okay.
So
You know
now
what?
you've had King on there. You've had Kong on there. So next is solved.
No.
Why would I beat you to the punch? That's crazy. Yeah.
Two more down.
Next up is Addict.
Okay.
You know, from ILP. You know,
Yes.
so listen, I'm not surprised. Obviously, Square seems to be loving the bag that Sony's giving them lots of bags.
That bag is nice.
You know, not only for Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth and the third one, but also for Final Fantasy 16 and for Spoken. So I think Sony is they want Final Fantasy to be associated with the PlayStation brand. And I think they have spent a lot of money. So they're basically like, you know what? Remake and Rebirth and whatever the third is, they're never going anywhere besides PC. But you can have those little crumbs. You can have Crisis Core.
Yeah, that little Crisis Core.
Little Crisis
You
Core.
can have the game that also runs on a Switch. You can have that one.
You can have Crisis. The prequel to the main game, you can have that. Like you're not getting the main game. Which, you know, we're finally getting Persona, but then we lose Final Fantasy. It's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. And the thing that really I want to know is where the IGNs of the world at? Where the GameSpots of the world at? You know, when Sony does these deals, nobody says a word. Nobody says anything. They're just like, oh, Sony's just
But
thinking.
when Sony does it, Rand, it's competition. When Microsoft does it, it's wrong.
Wait.
Yeah.
Addict and
You know,
Rand, are we implying there's a different set of standards for exclusive?
No, I'm not implying. I'm writing it in stone.
You know, when Sony does it, nobody says anything. It's just, oh, Sony's doing right by their players, and look what they're doing. You know, when Microsoft did the Rise of the Tomb Raider deal, everybody and their parents were screaming, "When's it coming to PlayStation? When's it coming to PlayStation?" You had outlets asking Phil that day, like, "Tell us now. When are we going to be able to play this on the PS4?" And to the point where Square Enix had to come out and say something. Then Phil had to like say something. He was like, "Well, obviously, I don't own the Tomb Raider IP," and you know, blah blah blah. But nobody says anything to Square about Final Fantasy. There's crickets. There's silence.
So are you implying, Rand, that there needs to be a certain level of questioning to Square on Xbox's behalf as to when the exclusivity deal?
I'm just saying, you know, if you're gonna flip your lid over Microsoft doing timed exclusives and demanding to know when it's come to the other platforms, just, you know, I've never seen anybody say anything to Square about it. Like, hey, why isn't Final Fantasy 7 Remake coming to Xbox or the Switch for that matter? Why? What's up with that?
I'm gonna tell you this right now, and I don't think I'm gonna be honest. I don't think the bag that Sony's giving Square Enix for FF7 is as big as people think. I think straight up, I think it's a loyalty thing. You have to understand, the deal between Square Enix and PlayStation at the start of the PS1 generation,
tremendous.
That was a paradigm shifting deal.
Yes.
And to this day is paying dividends.
Yes.
There is a loyalty there that no amount of money, when it comes specifically to this series, I think is really going to break. So when it comes to that, I think Square Enix is willing to make those concessions when it comes to PlayStation. Yeah, are they giving them a bag? Sure. Is it as big as we think it is to be able to keep it away from the other consoles? I don't think so. I'm going to be very honest. These Japanese executives are very much about loyalty and stuff like that, and these companies are very much sort of based in that Japanese tradition. You know, when you look at what Square Enix has been doing lately, trimming the fat and getting rid of their Western studios, that's grooming themselves to be purchased, not by anybody. It's grooming themselves to make them more palatable to PlayStation.
You think that could be going down?
100% my feeling. So when it comes to FF7, I think the conversations around FF7, you have to look at it through the lens of FF7, specifically that game, and in turn the entire series has become something that I think they're willing to make concessions on PlayStation's behalf for. So I think that's just it. PlayStation, they know that is the one franchise they have above all the others that really stands out above and beyond. It is many people associated with PlayStation. And, you know, even if you have that huge pedigree it had on Nintendo before that, I think it just doesn't matter. Shout out to the cops.
Shout out to the cops. Yeah, upset.
Every time when I'm talking. Yeah. But I think that's it. I just think we have to start getting used to the fact that by the time, if there is a chance this particular game comes to Xbox in any way, shape, or form, it'll be when all three parts have already come out, maybe on PlayStation and PC. Maybe there's a slim chance that maybe when Rebirth comes out, you can get part 1 of Remake.
You think they're gonna get them to all say?
Okay, you finally get the first one. But again, if that exclusivity is however long, it may be a moot point because by that time, then a purchase may go down. So you may not ever see it on Xbox. So I just think there's a realities we need to look at, and I really do think that when you look at the relationship with Square Enix and PlayStation, particularly in regards to Final Fantasy, there's a loyalty there that I don't think an Xbox bag can break.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Rand, I'm sorry if you finish your thought, and then I'll get
Have your crumbs. Here's Crisis Core. Go ahead, eat it. Enjoy it, Xbox fans. You get Crisis Core.
It could be the last thing you get.
It could be because it seems all their games are timed exclusive to the PS5. But you know, I mean, you can make the argument that, you know, Saw makes a good point about maybe making themselves more attractive to Sony for a buyout, because if you actually want to grow Final Fantasy and make it into a bigger franchise, This is the exact opposite of what you want to do.
Right.
Like you would want to put it everywhere as possible. I mean, like Switch, hello, in Japan, Switch is dominating literally everything, and it's not even there. So like, clearly this is a financial thing between, you know, Sony and Square Enix.
I think so
I
too.
honestly, I believe they're honestly, I honestly think they're harming the growth of the Final Fantasy
You're
franchise.
gonna like the poll question. Continue.
Go ahead. I'm done.
No, this is a spicy one. Boxenberger, I see you chomping at the bit. What is your thoughts, man? That trailer went down. The Final Fantasy 7 Remake Rebirth, and at the end, there was one no-go.
Crisis. Yeah.
What's going on?
I agree with Rand here. I also think it's a money thing. Someone in the show said it earlier. I think Sony is trying to attach Cloud towards the PlayStation brand. They really want to make him a face of one of these mascots for the brand. Otherwise, I don't know why Square would do that if it's not really for money, and the motive behind Sony is obvious. So it is funny how this all went down, because everyone assumed like it's going to be a 1-year exclusive, and then they had
there was marketing material that was out that said initially, remember, like it was a year or two. Yeah, sorry.
But we really don't know how these deals are made, and I think we will see something similar with Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. I mean, it's a little bit different story here, because that's obviously Microsoft that they are dealing now with, but we don't really know how long are the exclusivity deals. Right. We all assume it's a year. We all assume that.
Good point.
But you really don't know. It might be a 2-year thing or whatever.
Good point.
So I wouldn't place my bets anymore on these exclusivity deals being only 1 year, and it's not just with Square. We just don't know how Sony plays these things these days. So I
have some insight. Oh no, I mean, I'm sorry if you wasn't finished.
No, please. Then tell us.
No, I was just, again, an addict can relate to this. Because we're Destiny fans, and I know it's not a one-to-one relationship, but welcome everyone to the suffering if you're on the platform that is part of that is being pushed out, right? And what I mean by that is, look, first of all, for the record, I don't have a problem with this. I've said this multiple times, so before the chat come at me, I don't have a problem with Sony dropping a bag and saying, yo, that's us. To me, that's part of the game. If Xbox is going to come out here with Game Pass, right, and put first-party, day-and-date, and third-party games on it, specifically third-party stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. That devalues PlayStation's version of it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if MLB The Show is on Game Pass, you know what I'm saying, the consumer that is aware is going to be like, well, I'm going to go over there, provided they have the console. So it's the same thing, Outriders and so on and so forth. So to me, I've always said this is my prediction at the start of this generation. I said Sony's not going to take this lying down with this Game Pass thing. They running around snatching up all these big games and associating it with this service. How you do that is exclusive content. And you say, okay, I'm going to say Final Fantasy 7 Remake is associated with the PlayStation brand. Now, we did see marketing material earlier that said, you know, at 2020, you know, it's going to be like a year out. So I understand Xbox. I empathize with the Xbox fan in the sense that there was an expectation that after a year, because there was material that said it, you know, like 1 year, it ends. So Xbox fans are like, cool, I'll wait, it'll come. And this is why I said welcome to our pain as Destiny fans, because this is what used to happen to Destiny fans with PlayStation exclusive content, with the Activision deal, and so on and so forth. We had Hoglaw on, and he said specifically, these deals can be extended, especially if they see value. So in my opinion, that's what happened. Sony's like, oh, no. This right here is associated with, we want to continue this relationship and secretly extend it. And unfortunately to the gamer, he's not made aware. He's thinking the year's up. Here it comes. And then it's like, oh, yo, what's up? Like, now you going on to part 2 and we still ain't got it. So this is what I think. You know, there is a chance, this is my feeling, there is a chance that it comes. But if it comes, in my opinion, it'll be after all 3 games come out. and potentially like the collector's combined edition. And again, it's up to Sony with this contract. And I do agree with Solve on some level. There is a loyalty specifically with this franchise. To me, Final Fantasy VII is part of what gave PlayStation its identity and separating from Nintendo with the creation of the PlayStation system. Final Fantasy VII is literally one of the games that put JRPGs in the map. I'm sorry, Saul. Final Fantasy VII is the game.
It is a more important game than 6.
Thank you. 100%. That's all I'm saying. So for me, they realize that, and it's like, yo, we are going to lock this in. You know, the other thing I thought was interesting is that in Xbox's defense, because this is my thing, and for Xbox fans who are frustrated, I can't blame Xbox. Like, I know they're trying to get this game. You can't tell me that if there was a specific bag with the finances and resources that Microsoft have, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't have done it, especially how hard they went for Persona just recently, right? And Adele. So it's clearly something that they can't do anything about. Because, and also, Final Fantasy VII in itself, the base form addict, right? The old school joint is on Xbox. The original Final Fantasy VII that PlayStation fans got on the PS1 is on Xbox. So I just think this is how they gonna play. I know people don't like it, but that's the game. They want you like, yo, to go get it. That's why I'm like, yo, I'm not waiting. I'm getting it over there because I don't know how this. Because I felt that Destiny exclusivity secret energy. I felt it, and I was like, me and Ad, we was like, yo, we doing that joint over there, and we did what we did. But yeah, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. You know, it's going to be a situation that I think if it does ever come, it'll be at the end. And that's the hope. That's the hope. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. So if you really like the game, in my opinion, go get it. You know what I'm saying? It's over on PlayStation. If you don't want to play over there, that's on you. But Addict, that's your joint. That's your topic. Any other final things you want to say?
Yeah, I feel like there's a couple different things you need to account for this. Mm-hmm. One, I don't think Microsoft, this is one of those things Microsoft can't just come in and write a check to fix.
I agree.
I believe it was rumored a long time ago that originally Final Fantasy VII was supposed to be something else, this remake, and then it was they outsourced it, remember? Then SquareEnix took in and started doing it in-house.
Right.
Because that's the reason it took so long for Final Fantasy VII to come out, because it was supposed to be something else, and I don't think what we have now, Rebirth, Remake, whatever the third one is, originally, I don't think that's how it was supposed to go down. I think it was supposed to probably be just one game that literally did one for one the entire story. And then when they restructured, brought it in, and the dude from Kingdom Hearts got his hands on it, then he's like, let's do different stuff. I think, that probably happened, and I think Sony signed contracts back then. Mm-hmm. So they signed contract for that project. So when that project changed, they naturally got all of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. I do think that Square Enix is setting themselves up to be bought. That's why I don't think these games are coming out for Xbox ever. I think by the time Rebirth or whatever the third one comes out, there's a good chance Square Enix is either merged with someone or they've been bought by someone. So I don't think the chances of us getting it's like really, really slim. I also do think that timed exclusive thing could mean a lot of things. Could mean it was timed exclusive for PC. Because keep in mind, back then, that's when they were still like, we want it on our ecosystem. We're not doing anything on PC. Mm-hmm. Now they've changed that logic out. So mm-hmm. I do feel like, when it comes to this particular moment, Final Fantasy VII is just going to be a PlayStation brand. Like, there ain't nothing you can do about it. If you're serious about that, go buy that game on PlayStation. Right. Because if you don't want to and you're waiting for it to come to Xbox, newsflash, it's not coming.
I don't think Final Fantasy's coming, period.
I mean, I will say this, to empathize with the Xbox fan who's going through it right now. I can understand the mixed messaging frustration because it's like, yo, they're giving us all of these other ones. Why not this one, right? And then you just want clarity. You almost say, like, just outright say it's an exclusive. And it's just the way, unfortunately, it's just the way the industry goes right now. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying, I think it also, why I think it also hits a little harder, Ram, is because we've seen so many of the PlayStation exclusives now go to PC. And PC's also getting it. right? So I think that also is part of the frustration as well. Well, why is it Xbox, whatever? But yeah, I would love for the Jason Schreier / a whole or somebody, if they like to see the innards of this contract. I would love to know.
I mean,
yeah,
I really feel like this is one of those scenarios where I wish the industry is more transparent when it comes to these deals. Obviously they're not going to do that for multiple reasons, legal reasons, branding reasons. They're not going to tell you something's coming out for another platform. That doesn't make sense for them branding wise. But at the same time, it's like, look, like I will say Microsoft does need to improve that Japanese market, but they've done a lot. They have done a lot. And I can honestly say, I come on this show all the time and I say they need to do more. They need to do more. As of right now, I'm not saying they don't need to improve, but I see effort.
Yes.
They got the Dynasty game, the Fallen Dynasty game. They got Persona, which a lot of people didn't think could happen. Like literally never happened.
I'll be honest. It was looking spooky for me too. Like I'm not gonna sit there and act like I wasn't scared. Like yo, Atlas look like they doing their own thing, and so I've had valid points, and I had nothing to defend it. Like so, I was just like, man, they need to get over there. But continue.
They got the Kingdom Hearts games. They got the Final Fantasy games. Sure they're missing these newer ones, and that's the ones people want to play. Sure, we're not getting 16, but I feel like it was 7 in particular. Sony came in years ago and swooped these titles. There's nothing Xbox can do for the foreseeable future. Now maybe 16 and then come out, but I remember directly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rand, but a couple of years ago, didn't Phil Spencer come out? I think it was like at an XO or something and say, look, I can't give street dates, but we are working with Square Enix to bring 14 to the Xbox platform.
Yeah, there was interviews about that, but they've actually asked, people have asked Square about that, and their response is that they just don't have the developers able to make to make an Xbox version of Final Fantasy 14. So I don't believe that. I mean, instead of saying nothing, they've actually come out and said they just don't have the manpower to make an Xbox version right now.
I personally feel like Sony has done stuff behind closed doors. I think that might not be money, like Solve said. I do think a lot of this has to do with money in terms of like Final Fantasy 7, but I do think that Square Enix might be doing a lot of stuff out of faith for Sony because they want to be sold to Sony. And they feel like the more they scratch Sony's back, they make themselves more appealing by selling the Western divisions, that Sony eventually will be like, okay, let's do this. And I think that's the goal. I think the goal is, even if it would not surprise me if some of these games don't even have deals. They're just trying to make themselves more appealing to Sony. Because let's be real here. If you take Square Enix out of PlayStation's stable, they're hurting.
They've done a lot for Sony. There's definitely
it's like, PlayStation and Square Enix is probably the closest I've seen them be in decades.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to monitor. I will say, to Saul's point, if it does happen, and they, like I said, they slimmed themselves down for acquisition, you heard it here first. So it's
the Addict said Kingdom Hearts, but what's the chance Kingdom Hearts is going to be exclusive? Addict,
I defer to Addict on that.
I mean, Kingdom Hearts 4. I mean,
it just got announced. I don't think they actually come out and said platforms. Like
they haven't.
That's why I'm giving Microsoft a little bit more of kind of like a pat on the back. Really, it's like you're doing what you can over there. But what's really going to determine if they're doing good in Japan or not is where's Dragon Quest going to be? Is that going to be an exclusive to PlayStation? Persona 6. You got the other ones. There's no excuse not to have 6.
That's the thing.
Where's the future iterations of Final Fantasy that's not 16 and 7?
And not to interrupt you, that's what my prediction is. My prediction is that's why when we talked about the showcase, I feel that even though some people feel overall it wasn't like a 9 out of 10 for them, but I think the impact of the Japanese games, I think what they're trying to do is set the precedent that from this point forward, none of the newer stuff is going to get missed. That's just my guess. I have no inside information. We'll see if I'm right on that. But I think like when you talk about like a Persona 6 and, the next Dragon, because they had the other Dragon Quest and Yakuza would say, what I'm saying? These are huge moves in the Japanese. I think We'll
Those
see.
also came with a bag coming
True.
on Game Pass. Now, when you take the bag out, are they more inclined to do it?
That is true, and that remains to be seen. My prediction is, I think they will, but we're gonna see. To your point, they got to show and prove, right? And when the new ones come out, because Soft gonna come right back at me and be like, "Fam, Persona 6, where it's at? Why? How come your logo ain't at the bottom? We gonna have this topic again."
I was gonna want his knees back.
Then he gonna want the knees back, and I gonna have to get the knees back to some, and I don't want to do that, so I'm standing on my prediction. Moving on. All right, we gotta get out of here. This is the last joint. So I'm gonna get the super chats lined up real quick, and then we get this last joint. You are muted, I believe, sir. And he's still muted. Okay, so he's doing. So we can get the super chats next, or you want me to just go to the next topic?
Let's go to the next.
Let's go to the next topic.
I'm here. No, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
here.
okay.
Do you hear anything in the background?
No.
Okay, good.
You Gucci. So
All right.
yeah, we got the super chat.
Let me say. Great set. Okay, let's see. Rob the Don, $5 super chat. Xbox only guys, give your hopes up. Sony will be buying Square Q1 2023. Crisis Core is the last one. If not, then it's only a matter of time.
Okay.
Yeah, could be. We got Flame, $2 super chat. PlayStation can keep Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm good with Crisis Core.
Hey, don't listen to him. Nobody listens to that.
Nobody wants that.
Crisis Core games popping off. The fans.
Well, Crisis Core is good, but it's like one thing I want to say is like Square Enix. There's no way Square Enix didn't expect to get heat over that. Like you're gonna give us the prequel to the Final Fantasy VII franchise, but not the actual games.
Yeah. It's not even
like
getting the same treatment like the remake got. So
yeah,
and that's why I'm like 100% on. Like I want Microsoft to buy everything at this point because it's like Sony got no problem taking games off the table for us. So it's just like I kind of want that same energy.
Like, in fairness, Microsoft likes buying studios and then. And those studios eventually, they come exclusive games.
I want Microsoft to pop in and just take all Sony's lunch money.
Sound like King now. Now you sound
taking this, man. We taking it. Well, he ain't here. Someone got to
feel the role. No doubt.
All right. Then we have Mr. Irishman, member for 12 months.
Salute.
Great to see Xbox fans finally riled up about Final Fantasy. Shame that Square hasn't given them anything to actually boycott. Boycott Square Enix.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I saw people on Twitter saying they're going to boycott the game. And it's like, I know some of them don't really play those games on PlayStation. It's like, are you just going to do what you were going to do? Like not buy it on PlayStation? Like,
I don't know, man. I ain't with all that boycotting, but that's just me.
And
I'm playing that day one on PlayStation.
Yep, I'll be right there. I got my PS5 right. I'm chilling. I'm good.
And we got Rel, member for 7 months. Most of media are PlayStation guys. Nobody can tell me anything different. Sony can do no wrong in their eyes. I don't know.
Moving on.
And we got Mandingo McFickens.
There he is.
$2 super chat. If PC can break that bag, so can Microsoft. Hashtag FF7. I see PC didn't break the bag. This is PlayStation, like Addict said, just adding the PC to their ecosystem. They finally, no more walled garden. PC is part of our ecosystem now. So. And we got Dorian Gray, $5 super chat. Shows you how incompetent Square is. Locking games on PlayStation where the brass of that platform says aren't reaching enough players and putting games on PC. The games are going to PC as well. So
it remains to be seen how it's selling and if missing out on other platforms.
Yeah. And we got Rob the Don, $5 super chat. I'm with Saab, loyalty over money. This is advice for Xbox fans on Twitter, in media, and in real life. Do not like Sony. Do like Sony fans. Deny or stay silent, or if all else fails, cap.
Oh my God,
that's great. Then we got Spartan Go 17, £2 super chat. Bro, predictions miss harder than Drake's new album.
Oh,
damn,
okay, damn. Going in for Drizzy. Okay,
yeah. I haven't listened, so I don't know. Robert Slade, $5 super chat. Couldn't the time frame just be for PC? Xbox wasn't explicitly mentioned, just that it's locked to PlayStation for a year, right? I mean, I don't know.
We need to find out. Somebody needs to tell us.
Yeah. And we got Lucas Fox, $10 super chat. With Xbox about to own Crash and Spyro, do you think the FF7 exclusivity is an effort to protect the association of popular PS1 era characters with the PlayStation brand? I mean, that is true. When you look at FF, it's not just FF7. Obviously, that's the first and most important. But 8, 9, 10, 10-2, all of that stuff. We didn't start seeing Final Fantasy on Xbox until the 360, right? Was it with 13?
Yeah, 13.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, definitely, it's a PlayStation thing. And we have Don Otaku, $5.
Well, it wasn't Nintendo thing.
It was a Nintendo thing for sure.
People forget that.
That is true.
People think, oh, it was Final Fantasy and Sony. Or,
there you go. Yeah.
They weren't.
Funny,
It was,
they left Nintendo because Nintendo wanted to do cartridges.
Shout out to the N64 cartridges.
Yes, that was the deal. Historic.
Don Otaku, $5 per chat. If Kingdom Hearts 4 was exclusive, it would have been announced as such. I said the same thing about Street Fighter 6, and look what happened. Yeah, Street Fighter 6 is everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. Then we have Edward Walton, $5 super chat. Are we also not looking at the relationship that Microsoft has a fairly good relationship with Sega, Atlus's parent company?
Yes,
Phantasy Star is exclusive.
Is it?
I mean, Phantasy Star Phantasy Star so far, yeah. The Phantasy Star Online, Online 2, whatever. That's a new game essentially, and they didn't really market it as such, but it is new. Yeah, it's exclusive so far. Nobody else is I don't know how it's doing though, to be honest. It kind of came and went. I don't see too many people talking about it.
Okay.
Then we have Jeffrey Rivers. Hold on, I got jumped. Damn it.
Jeffrey Rivers in the building.
$5 super chat. Haven't heard anyone on the Xbox side explain the SIE FF deal like that before, and I think that's exactly what it is. SIE and FF are associated together. Yeah, I think. FF7 leaving Nintendo and going to PlayStation in a lot of ways, like Cog said, that brought JRPGs to the mainstream in a way that had never happened. So it's huge. Let me get Donald Taco, $2 super chat. Drake's new album is Balan Wonderland bad. Hashtag just say it. It's Wonder World, sir.
They going in on Drake joint. Salute.
Then we got Spartan Go 17, $2 super chat. Don't listen to it, Saab. Wish I had my 50 minutes back. Damn. I heard he's trying to be on some kind of like club thing. I don't know.
That's crazy.
We'll see. Let me see what else. I got jumped a little bit. Hold on.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We got Dingo McThickens. $5 super chat. I want the Sony guys to keep that same energy when Microsoft buys up more large studios. They're okay with Sony locking games up, yet when Microsoft does it, it's treason.
Treason. Oh my God.
You know how it goes. How that goes.
Shout out to everybody with the super chats. Good.
One more. Mr. Irishman, $5 super chat. Console exclusives will be dead within the next 10 years. Subscription exclusives will take over. Xbox will get FF eventually. The question is when.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yep, we'll see. We'll see what's going on.
Sony sells PlayStation to Microsoft.
Oh, you better hope for the trilogy complete super deluxe edition with all of them, Rebirth, Remake, whatever. Anyway, last topic. This was King's topic. Make it quick. PlayStation Now. He wanted to talk about this. PlayStation Now loses more than 200 games in their new PlayStation Plus service. So it looks like as a result, obviously that the PS Premium and the PS Plus extra game list that had the hundreds of games, but some of the current PS Now games will be included in that list. But that means that now PlayStation Now loses more than 200 of their games. So there's a long, extensive list of this. There's been some talk online, some frustration with certain aspects of it. I don't know if anyone has been following this story. I really wanted King's insight for this because this is his topic. So if anyone wants to jump in, if Boxenberger, I don't know if you heard anything from this itself, any information, I will open this up to the floor.
I mean, the thing about it is this, right? They haven't, the assumption is that PS Now goes away.
Right.
Now that this new sort of consolidated PS Plus is in effect. The thing is, they have not announced that specifically. So PS Now, you can literally go out and still purchase PS Now piecemeal, apart from this PS Plus thing. So, yeah, for those of you who only want PS Now and don't want to jump into these new tiers of PS Plus, yeah, you're gonna, for whatever reason, these games are leaving that part of it and going into the new PS Plus.
Okay.
The thing about it, I just don't understand. They gave enough leadway, right? Why didn't they just say, as of this date, PSNow no longer exists. It only exists in these PS Plus tiers, right?
Okay.
The problem with it is that the PSNow streaming tiers and the downloadable stuff does not translate to the base layer of PS Plus.
Oh.
It translates to partially the middle layer, which is more money, and the top layer, which includes the streaming part of PSNow.
Wait,
so
if I have a PSNow game but I don't have the PS Plus middle tier,
yes,
there's a chance that game that I had on PSNow won't work. Because I'm hearing some licensing issues and people getting error codes as a result of it. And I think
it's looking at it as another SKU.
Right. So it's like, okay, you had Siphon Filter back during the PS3 days of PSNow. PS Plus comes out, and now I can't play the game unless I buy PlayStation.
It's like they still haven't figured out that handshake very well.
So, but I still can't.
That entire discussion here is the problem of this entire thing. It is just way too complicated when you have to make like charts that big to explain, okay, if you have that you can do that, but you have to upgrade here, and then I don't get that. Why not make it easy, simple? If you want to introduce that new subscription service, and I'm all for it.
Sony ever did anything easy and simple?
Yeah. So I don't know. It's the way they translate it. I don't know if it just translates to the top tier or because the downloadable stuff is kind of what the middle tier of PS Plus is now, right? And the streaming stuff only exists in that top tier now. So either way, it's something that you would be paying. And somebody in the chat maybe get me this information. What do they translate? What do they move you to if you just have PSNow and you want to go over to PS Plus? What level does that translate you to? Because again, it may translate you to the proper level, so you don't have to pay extra for that. But I'm not sure again if that handshake is working properly. Right. And again, if for whatever reason they're just not transferring all those games over, which would make sense. And like go back to the licensing thing, I just think because the PS Plus thing is a different product from PSNow, like you said, licensing thing might be an issue. But the handshake might be an issue.
Shout out to my boy Mystic. He has said that the only thing I did see was that some publishers are not honoring that handshake license that you've already had. So like if you had like Resident Evil 1 or something like that, again, prior, then you may not be able to get it. And again, you have to subscribe to the new service. And that, again, to Boxenberger's point, again, this is from what I need confirmation. This is King's topic. I need more confirmation before I say definitively whatever. But I did see these comments. I did see, people having issue. You know what I'm saying? And I will say, this is funny. I'm not trying to console. I have to say this. It's funny because I'm a Tekken fan, so I want to know where Tekken is. So I'm like, where's Tekken at?
Well, Tekken is in the Tekken was never sort of re-released for the PS4.
Right.
So that's in the top tier. You mean Tekken 2?
Tekken 2.
Yeah, Tekken 2 is in the top tier.
There was a minute, I don't know what happened with the handshake. This part is funny. I have to say. Like, Tekken 2 at one point this week, whatever, was for $10,000.
Yeah.
I was like, so people was like, yo, what the hell? To PlayStation, why is this 10 grand? I thought that was funny. I have to admit, now it must have been corrected, but there's a handshake issue going on.
Yeah, I think the same happened with Ape Escape. Ape Escape was like $10,000 or something.
But how did they get to that place?
I don't know.
How did that happen? That's what I was
growing pains. I get the growing pains stuff, but again, it's like, why are you coming in this hot? Just delay the service until you have it more set in stone, like. So I guess they're gonna handle their bumps kind of along the way and fix it along the way. Right. The top tier when it comes to classic games is sparse to say the least. Yeah. There is some stuff that has trophy support, which is cool. I did not really expect that. And luckily, I think everything that we're getting in that regard are 60 hertz games. So we are getting NTSC games. We don't have to worry about that crazy 50 hertz stuff that we were having issues with. So all in all, like, I think just like at the start of Game Pass, it's not exactly where it should needs to be. I think that middle tier for people who haven't been in the PlayStation ecosystem before is premium because you get a lot of stuff there. But yeah, I mean, there's some growing pains there. But yeah, the losing game stuff, I just don't see why they didn't put a definitive end date to PSNow and migrate people over. Because again, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You migrate people over. The thing about it is that when Microsoft did this, they realized, hey, people are buying whatever 10 years worth of, what
they allowed the stacking.
Yeah, gold and whatever, and it translates to whatever, Game Pass is. PlayStation didn't want that to happen. So they, a lot of people that stacked stuff, they had to initially got blocked. And then some of that stuff they went back on a little bit, but you're still not necessarily getting your money's worth. So it's a whole bunch of stuff, and it comes down to money. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to have to eat this and kind of fix it and make it right for the consumers, and then move everybody over and just make it as smooth a transition as possible. Obviously, the end goal is to eliminate PSNow as its own service. Right. I just don't see why they didn't just cut the Band-Aid off now, and that's it.
Yeah, Boxenberger and then Rand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Soph. I don't get the way how they want to transition people over. If we look at how Xbox did it, yeah, they probably lost a little bit of money, but they didn't get any negative press attached to this. And if you want to establish a new subscription service out there, you kind of want to make it as easy and welcoming as possible. And that's just seems weird to me how Sony did it. They didn't allow for the purchasing of the PSPLus subscriptions now for 3 months or so, so that people can stack and stuff like that. Just weird to me. Nevertheless, like Soph said, I think that middle tier is, especially if you're not subscribed to Game Pass and are only in the Sony ecosystem, pretty good value. I was a bit surprised by how good their first offering actually is. The first party games they put in there are great. So yeah, we shall see how this will develop. I just don't like I said earlier, I don't like how complex everything seems to be these days on the Sony side. But yeah, overall it is gonna be I think a pretty good value, even without the day and date discussion, which I'm not gonna start now.
That'll be another
rabbit hole. It's still a good value because there are simply a lot of games for you to play. So
yeah, fair enough. Rand out Thor, what's going on?
I mean, I really don't have anything to add outside of what Boxenberg and Sovereign have talked about regarding this. So I don't really know much about the whole PlayStation tier thing and the PlayStation. I wish King was here for
That's
this.
what I said. And for the record, people coming at me, I didn't comment yet. This was King's topic.
King wasn't going to explain it. Just to be fair, he wasn't going to explain it.
Yeah, we were going to do it just for King. But like, I don't have the information, so I'm asking people because so for people, shout out to my boy Face23. He's like, Cog, you're spreading. I didn't say anything yet. It's not my goal. But
what did he say?
He's like, you're spreading misinformation. I'm like, bro, I didn't even talk yet. So I mean, what you call it, Tony? But at the end,
Face, so what's the misinformation?
He said Face is saying that they migrated everybody over. You know what I'm saying? I haven't tested the service out, so I can't make definitive.
So if they migrated everyone over, then is PSNow dead? And there's no PSNow because that's not the indication we're getting. Again, I have it. I just haven't turned on my machine, so I haven't engaged with it. Right. I'm just going by stuff that I've heard.
Right. It already launched in the US. Right.
Yeah.
Right. It launched in the US.
Yeah.
So for me, I can't comment until I see it. I'm just going on with what King's article he brought to our attention. So I'm just reiterating what he brought. That's what it is. But anyway, yeah, I hear what you're saying, Ray. Like you don't have too much to add to this. Pretty much.
It says, because if you go to PlayStation Now on PlayStation.com, it says, notice, PlayStation Now has merged with PlayStation Plus and is no longer available as a standalone membership. Benefits that were part of PlayStation Now are part of the various membership plans, options available in PlayStation Plus. Customers who had an active PlayStation Now membership when the new PlayStation Plus membership service launched were migrated over to the PlayStation Plus Premium.
So it's just saying that in the migration, in the migration. Everybody's moved over. In the migration, there were games lost in the translation.
Well, so there is no more standalone PlayStation Now.
Okay.
And when they merged them, yeah, I guess they lost 200 games or whatever. I mean, I don't know. So that's what PlayStation.com says.
Yeah. So then, yeah, I think the thing that makes sense is the licensing stuff. Whereas PlayStation Plus whatever the heck it is called now is a new service, and the licenses have to be renegotiated.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There you have it. Addict, expert in this topic. What's your thoughts on it, sir?
Just prime example of Sony doing stuff they shouldn't be doing as quick as they shouldn't be doing. That's all I gotta really say about it.
Yeah, and this, the funny thing is that this stuff does kind of matter because I remember when the what is it, NVIDIA streaming stuff, they put stuff on there, kind of even just as a test bed in their beta sort of stages. That once the service came out properly, they got into a big beef with the game devs and the publishers. They're like, no, you have permission to use it for this aspect. You can't assume that it can just transfer over to the actual sort of service when the service goes live and not think that we don't have to renegotiate rights and money and stuff like that. So yeah, I can see how a bunch of games just sort of fell off the planet.
Yeah, and
with this transfer.
Yeah, to make that right. I wish King was here because I would love to know where King was going to go with this.
Yeah, oh my goodness!
Clearly, this is something he wanted to talk about. Yeah, I have not got a chance to test out the service to confirm, what he was going to say or not. So I was just curious. And I shot the King. He's in the beef with them damn Crocs, and he can explain himself further when he comes back. That's all I got. Anyway, moving on. That's the last joint. You want to get all the super chats? Want me to get the poll, and then we get up out of here.
Yeah, I get the super chats.
No
doubt. I got them. Hold on a second. Let me see. Lucas Fox. No, we got that. Donald Taku. No. Nope. THX 1138, $5 super chat. Sony took my top tier PS Plus on PS4 and downgraded me to a PS Plus Essential tier on PS5. Classic Sony move, dripping gamers this generation. Yeah.
Question: I'm not the biggest familiar because I haven't even really turned on my PlayStation in a little bit. Is what's going on with what's what I'm looking for?
What's up?
Like when you naturally go from PlayStation Plus, don't they naturally put you in the highest tier?
If you had Now and Plus, you go directly to the highest tier.
What that's crazy because that means, I guess you would have to, because it's like I said, like PlayStation Now is just some elaborate scheme to pay more for less for the same amount of content that you have. Like literally that's all they did is break PlayStation Now into two different tiers and put it on PlayStation Plus. And so it's like if you have both of them, you're going to be paying, I guess it would be about the same, $10 each, $20. Yeah. But it's crazy that they would offer the highest tier. And I bet you they won't even tell those people that they have the highest tier until it's time to renew. You know what I'm saying?
It's clear that all I know is that it's clear that they definitely want to get, the PlayStation Plus service. That's where they're going to. That to me, that's all it is. To me, it's just a migration from what I see. So I need to test service. When I test it, I will get more further information on it. But I'm dying to know what King had to say about this. What was big that he wanted to say?
I think this was a giant elaborate scheme to make PlayStation Now, like hide the PlayStation Now numbers. Like, this service wasn't doing the greatest. Let's merge it with PlayStation Plus. So, because it was like, 3 to 5 million is the highest that service ever went to. But now it's looking like it's the hottest service out there.
Well, yeah. What I'm hearing, though, is that the streaming stuff is actually working better as well. So I don't know if they, behind the scenes, they did do that sort of migration, started using more of the Azure stuff because as it stood, like it's still, PS Now on its own, whenever I tried it, just did not run well with the gigabit connection.
To me, it's just as simple as combining two services, consolidation. That to me is what it is. And if you have one service that's doing well, and then you have another service that may not have been, doing as well, you combine them. Now they're trying to offer value and then produce the tiers. The key is going to be, what the back compat stuff gets straightened out, the licensing stuff gets straightened out, they continue to bring good value to it. We do know they're doing day and date. Not day and date, but they're doing it seems like a year out after some of the exclusives are coming in there. You know what I mean? We've seen return on all the stuff. I thought that's good. I thought that's good value. You know what I mean? So it's up to them. I think they're not ever going to be on the day and date train right now. You know, who knows if that changes, but right now this model works for them.
Yeah,
so
but they are doing, second party, third party deals. Stray's going to be in there day one. So, smaller stuff, again, it's a growing process. So I think, if they see the numbers and it behooves them, we'll start seeing more and more get closer to that first party stuff. And like we said in the past, I think the service-based games that they have in the pipeline, I think it would be stupid not to put in this service.
That would be my prediction. Yeah. And that's where I think the Bungie relationship really will pay off with the live services games that they intend to bring to the service. So that's all I got, King. You are missed for that because I definitely wanted to hear what you got. But we got to get some chance to get up out of here. Ready to roll?
Good. No, that was the last one.
All right, cool. I'll do the poll with the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary event showcasing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Do you think it's fair that Xbox is missing out on this title? The choices are A, yes, secretly extended exclusivity deals just to gatekeep the game off Xbox is unfair to Xbox fans and the overall success of the game. B, no, exclusives bring identity to each platform. If you truly care about the game, buy the game where the platform exists. Or C, I don't care. Y'all better keep that same energy if it's a game y'all care about. Shout out to all the people in the forward's gonna go up. Shout out to Randall Thor 19, the man with the million pulling up for the aftermath show. Boxenberger, Jazz Corden, the whole crew pulling up. Let's start with you, Rand. An absolute pleasure to be in the realm once again. What you got going on? Where can they find you, sir?
Yeah, it's always. Wait, am I muted? No, I'm not.
No, you good. You good.
Okay, I'm good.
We hear everything.
I wasn't sure. Okay. Yeah, you sure? You sure, Attic? As King would say.
As King don't want to hear everything.
King would be like, your nipples out or whatever. Last time.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on again. It's always amazing to come on into the realm of the Lords to talk about all the important topics of the day. Yes. You know where you can find me. YouTube.com/RandallThor19. Videos and Xbox 2 with Jez Corden. Usually Fridays, sometimes Saturdays.
Sometimes Sundays. Sometimes.
Well, I don't think we've ever done Sunday. To be fair, we've never done Sunday. We have done Monday a couple times, but yeah, we did Monday this past week because we had to talk about the showcase. So thank you guys for having me. It's always a blast, and never believe me when I talk about my predictions, I guess, ever again. As Cog said, you think I did this one intentionally so people would jump off that.
I'm with Jazz. Jazz, when I listened, I think you be deep faking. That's why I put it in your intro. I was like, he deep because what it is, he got the playbook, so he want to act like he got all of it. So you throw out one that all right, that don't probably ain't gonna happen right now. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it seem honest, like, oh, it's a prediction. Like it could happen, it couldn't happen. I'm with Jazz. I think it's deeper than rap with you. He ain't answering too. Now he's quiet now. He's quiet. I got red quiet. That's funny. Anyway, he just gave us the laugh. He just said it's the laugh. But anyway, salute to my man Boxenberger, a.k.a. the artist formerly known as Archimedes. My God, Germany in the building. I get those correct pronunciations, which I love. Great show. Love what you're doing with your channel. I just had a big event going on with you prior to the showcase. Where can find you? What you got going on, man?
Yeah, first, thanks for the spontaneous invite. Pulling me out of the pool.
Get out. Get Germany in here. I needed that perspective. Yes.
Always fun to be on here, so thanks for the invite. And yeah, people can find me everywhere under Boxenberger. Twitter, YouTube, Xbox, PlayStation, everywhere. And like you said, I do have this little podcast each and every Thursday, The World of Gaming. Always having fun. This week I have Luke Lore, aka the Insipid Ghost on.
Ghost, okay.
Yeah, I got the ghost. Okay, okay. It's gonna be fun. And I hope to be back here soon, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
I absolutely see you up in there. I was like, you know what? I think it'd be really good to get some different perspective, especially, from my international, my German brothers, you know what I'm saying? And know how they're feeling about certain things. Always good to get different perspectives. So salute to you for pulling up last minute. You already know. And of course, my man, the quarry with the girlfriend stream. Shout out to Lord Addict. What's going on with you, man? What you got going on?
Nothing, man. So the reason I was late is because I don't know somehow. Well, first off, I think yesterday when I got off playing Demio
with me,
I was fine, and then 30-40 minutes after that, I felt like I was dying, and then this morning. I guess I was half asleep and I was moving my head and I hit the window that I have. I hit it hard. I was there for a minute. I thought I had a concussion. It was that bad. And then I took some Advil or something to go to sleep. I was like, if I die in my sleep, I die in my sleep.
No, I don't see
my goodness.
I was like, man, it was that painful. I was like, I gotta go to sleep. And then I wake up and. I don't know why, but I thought it was much later than it was. And I woke up and I was like, well, I guess I missed ILP. And then I saw what time it was. I was like, you know what? I don't feel exactly like death. So let me jump on.
I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you're doing better. Like I said, I know you gave me the kind of heads up that it might be spooky to the next morning. So I had a feeling. I'm glad you're all right. And don't go to sleep with your head hurting. That's scary. Somebody, what you call it, pass away like that? Sagging or something
you
like
can't.
that?
Yeah, you can't.
Bro,
can't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah, that's scary, bro. Take something for it. Stay there for a little bit, settle it, and then when you get the pain, because we don't want nothing to happen to you. That actually gave me a little scared. Salute to you. Salute, obviously the stream. Salute to all the stuff you've been putting up prior to that and stuff like that. And of course. It's very spicy today, sir.
It wasn't that spicy. I think that was normally spicy,
A little spicy. Use it a mix. Making a 5 what you got going on.
No doubt. Big shout out to Rand and Boxenberger for coming through. Chilling. What am I doing? Oh, so I will be on vacation next week.
Yes.
So I will not be around. So it could be. I guess. Yeah, it'll be a little bit to see me again. But
should we apologize now for the super chats that we go?
Yeah, okay, please do that. Yeah, please do that. My apologies for leaving you in the hands of these two. That's
Look, we had tried our best.
I appreciate my brothers for holding me down. But yeah, I need the R&R. I'm so happy King is finally taking.
Yeah, we're happy for King taking it. Yeah.
So yeah, man, it just sometimes you just got to disconnect, and I have been way too connected. So yeah. I'm glad to be able to get some rest. Beyond that, so yeah, happy Father's Day to everybody. I'm gonna go hang out with my dad a little bit after I record this Lord's Minute with Lady Lyric. Yeah, Papa Saab. I'm gonna go see him for a little bit. And tomorrow I'll be taking him to see the second best baseball team in New York City.
You mean the Yankees? Y'all gonna see?
I'm the team in Queens.
Okay, little slander. I see you taking him to what he want to see, though, right?
What he want to see, his people. You know what I'm saying? I got it. It's Father's Day. So it's funny. All the children are going. So even Kai Batsu, who does not.
He despises baseball. Take a picture. I want to see his face at the baseball game.
This is going to be hilarious.
To be fair, I think we might as well just say now, the week after next, there won't be an ILP.
Yeah, because we all have a little. We try to do better mental health. Been doing this since 2017. We rarely miss. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna try to do better about it. Obviously, Sov's gonna take some time. King took some time this week. Attic, we would have him take some time. I'll take some time. So that one after was yes. We preemptively, not next week. Next week we'll be here. But the week after, the week after, take a little R&R because we got to do better. We have a new
model. Yeah. If half of us are missing a show, then we're just going to cancel that show.
Absolutely, we got to do better about our mental health. You know what I'm saying? I know Rand, well about it. Same thing with Jez today. Shout out to Jez who was supposed to make it. He was going to come on. Jez was going to come. We're going back and forth, and I was just like, nah, brother. I'd rather you rest. He had a migraine, and he's going through it. Let's rest. We'll be here, man. So it's all good. But we're still going to give y'all something, Addict. Meaning, right? We still talked about giving us something on the Lord's Day. So it's not like you're going to leave with absolutely nothing. But we wanted to just be clear about that. So that's it for solving. Yeah, send some love to King, man. Make sure you call him out on those Crocs. King Croc is outside. Make sure you give him
King Croc
all the slander. But yeah, man, that's all I got. Anything else before we get up out of here, man?
No, right. That's about it.
That's about it. Yo, everybody enjoy your Sunday. We catch you. Happy Father's Day. Salute to the fathers out there. Much love in the realm. And we are out of here. Peace. We gotta come back, Saul, for your super chat.
Are we live?
2 weeks. We are live, Saul. Someone has something to say.
Super chat. Let me play with your joystick. $5 super chat. No Sav 2 weeks in a row. My apologies. Well, it's gonna be 1 week because you won't have a show the second week. So my apologies. But you know, I'll be waiting for that Steam Deck in the mail though. So
me and
I don't like his icon for you though. His icon, he's doing too much.
It's Kirby Big Mouth mode.
Yeah.
Me and King will still be around that week. Me and King might stream a game or something if he wants to do it.
All right, no doubt. See, we gave Let Me Play With Your Joystick his bars for Saul. And on that note, we really out. Peace.